Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting Through the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And this is an emergency broadcast. We've changed the bulb to red because we've got some aliens incoming.
And before we get into the meat of it, I will apologise in advance because I didn't put my phone on flight mode, so you could publicly spank me.
And Mike is also frantically putting his onto it, which means that I'm the only professional one, which says everything in all fairness.
It does, but I'll turn it down, but I need Wi-Fi on to read you some articles about said
So
aliens. Do we have any?
What are we calling this episode? The Pentagon UFO leaks and what's the name of that?
Slash Oumuamua.
Oumuamua, that thing that flew past us anyway.
Oumuamua.
That rock that could be or could not be an alien. Hawkins was quite excited about it, wasn't he?
He was.
The first.
He wanted to detect the radio signals, didn't he?
That's right.
The first object from another solar system to enter our own, is it not? The reason we've called this emergency broadcast is that I think, I don't want to put words in my co-host's mouth, but I personally...
I don't want you to put anything in my mouth.
Personally, I called everyone on my Facebook friends list the other night cunts. Because
I saw that, it was, yeah. And I thought, wow, cheers, man.
I'm utterly fucking mind-boggled by the fact that no one seems to give a shit about these the slew of alien stories, UFO alien-related stories that have come out in mainstream media from reliable sources.
New York Times, the fucking New York. I mean, you don't really get much more sort of reputable than the New York Times.
The Independent was reporting stuff.
Well, the New York Times still beats the drum for war and things like that.
Well, it does.
It's an establishment paper.
It's better than the fucking Sun over here.
Well, yeah.
It's better than the Daily Mail, which is supposed to be reputable over here.
I'm going to read an article from the Sun later.
So, yeah. Because half the time they're the only ones who pick this up.
Well, yeah, it's very true. But
we don't have reputable papers in the UK. We just have rags and dishcloths.
Yeah, and so people are still seemingly on Facebook, at least, more concerned with Christmas television, football.
Can I just point out the Christmas TV's been shit?
I haven't been exposed to too much of it. Everything we've watched has been on demand. But has there been no good movies on?
No.
I watched Dumbo Christmas Day.
Hey!
Shrek 3 was on earlier.
Which one's that?
I don't know. They've all blurred into one for me now.
Yeah.
The League of Gentlemen returned. That was good.
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
Me neither.
What was I doing?
I just said yes because I like that programme.
Yeah,
was it any good? Was it good?
It was quite funny, yeah.
Alright.
We didn't cut their faces off.
Alright.
On the line.
I'm glad you didn't. So, yeah, sorry guys, we got distracted there with your rant. Sorry, mate.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was just a little bit... We've called this emergency broadcast because, yes, we should... I think it's newsworthy. I think it's worthy of discussion.
I think it's the biggest news story we've had.
Ever, possibly? Well, one of them.
Have we got some weird news before?
Yeah, I've got some weird news for you if you want to bring it up on the thing.
I have one.
It's something else that's flown past, or due to fly past us in I think it's next year, maybe?
Mm.
Yeah, it's actually coming past us at Halloween, which is even cooler, because it's an asteroid that looks like a skull.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, yeah, go for
An
that.
asteroid that looks like a skull.
Mm.
Does it have a warning carved into it? Like death to the stranger?
I don't think so,
no. I'd be worried if it did.
But it's due to fly past us on Halloween.
Oh, it does.
A bit of pareidolia going on with it,
I was going to say, yeah.
Doesn't look like a really skull, but there's a skullish face going on.
I think the main picture that we're seeing is a artist rendition.
Well, that artist is shit then.
Because I think I've seen the original. It's blurry to fuck.
Yeah.
But you can see a bit of the eyes.
Yeah, well, either way, it's coming past us at Halloween. It's shaped like a skull. What else do you want?
That's pretty. I'm sure that will please a lot of goths, a lot of skull enthusiasts.
I like skulls.
And asteroid enthusiasts.
I've got a skull as a candle holder
A
on my
real
computer
one?
desk. No, sadly not. But it has got weird sort of Ouija board lettering sort of inscribed
Okay.
on it. It's very occult.
Yes, we like the occult.
Holds a candle.
Hey, can't hold a candle.
It's
to
sat
you.
on a pentagram. What else do you want?
So it's coming by.
Oh fuck! Hang on. This is an old article. I have to edit this bit out.
No, this is a new article, December the 22nd,
Oh yeah, sorry. I was reading ahead. It's,
2017. But it has been in our solar system once before, 2015.
Is it the skull of an ancient, long dead space deity?
oh, you mean like that thing from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
You know, but not quite as big. Or maybe it is as big. How big is an asteroid? Not as big as a planet.
No.
No. It's 700 meters
If it
wide.
was as big as a planet, it would be a planet.
There you go. Not as big as a planetoid.
So says the science officer.
Okay,
You've been
science
told.
officer.
It's
What colour t-shirts do science officers wear on Star Trek?
Is it blue?
Might be
I have a
blue.
blue one.
You gotta do your blue t-shirt.
And one of those visors like Geordie LaForge.
He was engineering. He was yellow.
Oh,
as long as I'm not an ensign,
You can be red. You can have a red
'cause they always
shirt.
die.
yeah. You're the away team. No, you're a science officer. So, it's probably not the skull of a long dead space deity.
Probably
but,
not.
It'd be cool if it was.
It fucking would,
It'd be
wouldn't it?
fucking cooler
We
if it
could-
was.
We could. Don't they in Guardians of the Galaxy? They're harvesting it for like biological materials.
Yeah, like spinal fluid and stuff. It's
Yeah.
worth loads of money on the black market and in that.
Well, we should
What's
be
this?
trying to catch this fucker.
It's basically it's this sort of hideout for no good nicks as such in Guardians of the Galaxy, and
Yeah.
it's the skull of an ancient space deity. And it's they harvest the brain matter and the spinal fluids and process it, and it can be sold on the black market.
And this is
What?
something that takes hundreds of years because it is literally so huge. Like they've built mining communities inside its floating head.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So this could be something akin to that. Could be what that thing that I don't know how to say, but you do, where we see naturally we see faces and everything, which is
Pareidolia.
that you said earlier, yeah. Because that is such a real thing. Clouds, patterns. I see it on like I'm lying in the bath and I'm looking at the tiles.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'll
yeah.
see like cats' faces and weird things, and I'm like, it's not there. It's a,
I can see demon faces in my tiles.
well, yes.
That probably says a lot for my state of mind.
I was going to say I'm no Sigmund Freud, but
Well, we've all got issues.
to be honest, an asteroid shaped like anything we could recognise would be newsworthy, I suppose.
Yeah.
A penis-shaped one would be.
Well, the name I can't say that Mike's going to say, the Hawaiian name,
Oumuamua,
Oumuamua. This
Or
kind
by
of
its-
penis shaped.
or by its proper name, 1I/2017U1.
I so thought you were going
God.
to say one-eyed trousers.
It's actually dubbed. It's actually nicknamed One Eye.
Oh, so there you go. It's a penis.
Yeah.
Well, it could be.
Or the Illuminati.
Well, this could be the head of the space deity. That could be
Yeah.
the cock of the space deity, just
Yeah.
floating around like Mike's interdimensional penis. It's on an adventure somewhere.
Hey.
Awesome. Have you got a news one?
That's my news of the week.
It is a skull. Look it up. It is a skull-shaped asteroid.
And for those any of you listeners who want to complain about the lack of news this week, it has only been 3 days since we last recorded, and we've all had Christmas since. So you
Yeah.
know what? Like it or lump it, lads. This is what you're getting.
we've been on holiday.
I've got a few news.
That's it. Oh, there you go. I'll let you go. I'll say mine. Mine's not really a news story. It's just a pop culture report. So what's this then, Mike?
From the pressandjournal.co.uk. Drones could be used for covert surveillance where it might save a life. Police in Scotland could use drones for covert surveillance in some circumstances, a top officer has said.
Well, isn't that just a bit like the Patriot Act in America, where it's we're going to take away some freedoms to protect your freedoms. So we're going to keep you safe by surveilling you. But look, did that say Scotland? If it's over Glasgow, they're going to get shot or bottled out of the sky.
Bombarded by deep fried Mars bars out of the sky.
And these things might have some monetary value. So how long do you think they're going to last in? Because they're not going to be in posh areas of town, are they? They're
Well,
gonna be in
plans
the
are
forest.
underway to trial two £50,000 unmanned aerial vehicles to assist in operations such as missing persons.
Fucking missing persons, my art.
Thing is, like, that's defeating the headline because they've just said it's going to be losing missing persons cases, and now it might save a life. Well, 9 times out of 10, if a person's gone missing that long, they're usually dead.
Yeah, no, it's going to be used to chase criminals.
But isn't all surveillance? You could argue that all surveillance is there to save a life. If I'm wiretapping a terror suspect, I'm doing it in the hope of saving a life, aren't I?
But isn't CCTV isn't it most of it crime prevention?
That's a deterrent half the time. It's meant to be a deterrent, isn't it?
Yeah.
CCTV and evidence, because mainly a deterrent. If you do this, we've got you on camera, kind of thing.
I'd find drones quite deterrent-y. I don't really like drones, to be honest.
Not armed ones, especially.
Yeah, no, because I've seen videos online of them with handguns attached, and I can't get that in my mind.
Ever since the time Mike was drum striked at a Pakistani wedding, he's never the same.
He's never looked the same. There's bits missing. Bastards. Oh, it's funny because it's true, they have blown up a lot of Pakistani weddings and in other countries.
Yes, it's true with this encroaching surveillance. Where does it stop?
Well, we're already the most CCTV'd up nation in the modern world, in the whole world.
Makes you proud, really. We're only a small country.
It's something to be proud
And
of.
the US and UK governments are collecting metadata on everything that we do.
And now Alexa from Amazon is helping them.
Yeah.
I'm not up for drones. Finding a missing person with a drone, okay, but then...
Well, that wouldn't even work, because let's say you're looking for a body. What's the best way to find something in the woods? It'd be thermal scan, wouldn't it? Well,
maybe it does
a
have...
dead body ain't giving that much...
Maybe it does have thermal.
Yeah, but a dead body's not giving that much heat off if it's been there a few days. So there's not going to be any heat off if it's been there a few days, so...
Yeah, good point.
So it's pointless in that scenario, isn't it?
This is the first
Whoever you are, Deputy Chief Constable Johnny Gwynn, if that is your real name, I'm not down with you with your plan.
It's the first step on the slippery slope to, like, young people. A young scally leaves his house to buy a 10 bag and will be fucking insta-killed with a headshot from a fucking drone eventually. For swearing. If you say certain words that are getting banned, that are, drones are going to monitor your language eventually.
It's going to be like in Demolition Man, isn't it?
Yeah. I still don't know how the 3 seashells work.
Like 1984.
Oh.
I looked at this the other day.
Okay, how did it? We may have discussed this before, but fill me in. I've forgotten. 3 seashells.
It's kind of a scoop and scrape technique going on, basically.
I don't want to think about Sylvester Stallone doing that.
Well, that's why he didn't, mate. He got the old. He swore a lot and got the tickets, which is what I do. Like, fuck, shit, wank, bollocks, cunt. Thank you very much. It's cost me a £5, but fuck it.
Yeah.
That's £6, sorry.
Yeah. Well, how are they going to find him? He's not a citizen of that place, is he?
Well, I presume they've employed him back in the police force.
Oh, so he's got a new...
they'd have to pay him, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Good point.
He's got a bank account, they'd have to pay him. Well, they're paying him somehow. Steroids, maybe, Stallone that time.
Yeah. And we don't even have to say allegedly. He's been
No.
caught with them in airports and stuff like that. Well, a lot of them are legal steroids.
True.
So, so, who gets to say... Do we get a say in whether or not drones are deployed, Mike? Does it say?
Well, Deputy Chief Constable John Gwynn said it would be, quote, ridiculous if they were not used when secret surveillance could save a life.
Secret.
I wonder if he's got money in a drone company.
Quite possibly.
If you're going to use it for anti-terror... But that's how they get me to agree with everything. Oh, we're keeping you safe. We catch these terror cells before they get to unleash their mayhem. And then I'll end up supporting this drone operation. It's bollocks, isn't it?
That's how they get you, man.
That's how they do it. That's how terrorism works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Terrifies you.
That's it.
Clues in the name, isn't it?
I don't like the drone thing. I'm not a fan.
No. Okay, we'll go on to the next one then. Government admits losing thousands of papers from National Archives.
Alright,
This is the UK government. Thousands of government papers detailing some of the most controversial episodes in 20th century British history have vanished after civil servants removed them from the county's National Archives and then reported them as lost.
Man, that's a bummer. Let me guess, I bet it's all the stuff we don't want people to know.
Documents concerning the Falklands War, Northern Ireland's troubles, and the infamous Zinoviev letter,
Never heard about
in
that.
which MI6 officers plotted to bring down the downfall of the first Labour government, are all said to have been misplaced.
What was the scandal about the Falklands? I mean, that was pretty cut and run, wasn't it? I mean,
Who knows? Maggie was clinging on to power, wasn't she? She was down in the polls.
I did read
The
one.
Falkland Island turned it around
I
for
did
her.
read really one really cool thing where we sent this MI6 officer to Argentina, posing as an arms dealer, saying I can get you as many Exocet missiles as you want. Our ships didn't have a defence against Exocet; they were French missiles. Mm-hmm. And the RGs went, really? And he goes, yeah. Just put the money in my account, sort it out. I had about 26 million off them and fucked off. I quite like that.
Wasn't it? Didn't you hit on it then, Mike? Wasn't it a sort of? She didn't have to go to war, but she, nothing improves your ratings.
I'm trying to
like
say,
a good old patriotic war.
she was very pally with General Pinochet, wasn't she?
She was, yeah.
Yeah.
Who had some various human rights abuses against him.
Yeah. There's no. I wouldn't put it past me if she organised it so that say you're Argentina, come and fight this. Come and you can come and have the Malvinas Islands or whatever it's called. They call it
La Malvinas, yes.
Yeah. And then she attacked, and obviously knew she was going to win, boosting the polls.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't a clear cut that we were going to win. You see, I mean, it was we were talking like 14,000 miles away at the end of a tenuous supply chain. It wasn't as cut and run as.
Yeah, but they were sending out boys without any training, weren't they?
Some of them. They still had Marines and stuff. They did put up a fight sometimes.
Yeah, but a lot of them I heard were untrained and.
Yeah, well, that's what you get.
That's what you get when you fuck with us or Maggie.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry. The MI6 thing. I mean, I'd imagine there was so much. I know a little bit about what went on through reading various books about it.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine that from people who were there and stuff that they've hinted at that was going on. But I'd imagine it was a lot worse than even they knew.
So they removed them. The same people who reported them lost were the same people who removed them. And we know that as a fact. Well, that's what this article said anyway. Well, that's dodgy as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Oh, you've reported them lost? Well, you were the last ones to see them. What happened? Removed
I
them.
put them down on this I put them down on this table next to this open window, and a gust of wind must have had them.
Just like that dodgy dossier that went missing. Leon Britton was his name, or someone Britton.
I don't know, but was that the paedophile scandal? Yeah, the one that got accidentally shredded while Theresa May was our Home Secretary.
Yeah. Basically,
all the stuff that was naming Heath and. Actually, you know what? Weirdly, can I give you a little side story on that? I saw an old mate of mine today, who we all know. I won't say his name on air, but I'll give you a shout out. You know who you are. He was telling me he works with a bloke who was in the close protection thing. He was allegedly ex special forces. Did close protection for Ted Heath. Mm-hmm. And apparently Ted Heath was procuring so many young boys, the police basically said, we can't keep protecting you if you keep doing this. Oh. There was no arrest.
This was the Prime Minister at the time, wasn't it?
And they basically said, if you don't stop doing this, we will withdraw our protection. But there was no mind of arrest, just they would withdraw the protection.
Maggie Thatcher knew about some of her MPs.
Yeah, I'd imagine that. They're all fucking still at it, man. They're all still at it. They're all reptilian elites, we know that. We've gone into that.
And it's also the documents that have gone missing, like you said. So they report them. So yeah, I removed them and now they're lost. Well, which ones were they? Oh, the really dodgy ones.
It's always the most important
letter. Yeah, that one.
It wasn't those boring ones where nothing happened. No, they're all still there. All archived safely.
Yeah.
I can go and get you them if you like. But no. What's happened to the dodgy ones with all the evil shit in that are about to be declassified in X number of years? Lost.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah. It's like that one with Nick Pope is the only one that he found credible. It was burned in a furnace.
Yeah.
Will they stop letting the fucking cleaners loose in the archives? Was it just some old biddy who was like, what's this shit? Falklands War? Bollocks, that was ages ago. And then threw it away, stop.
That's it. They control the information we see. Yeah. The JFK leak. They're not going to leak the most important files, are they?
No. Just saying,
Most of the Warren Commission wasn't released, was it?
Oh, the Warden Commission was the official report.
Yeah, but there was secret files in there that weren't released in the dump still.
I don't know, but I can tell you that it was called the greatest hoax perpetrated on the American people. The Warren Commission. So if you're in America and you want to find out what's
moon landing,
shut up, Mike.
Allegedly.
I won't have any talk of a moon conspiracy.
No, I'm not getting to the moon. I'm not touching that. We're about to do a few hours, however long we go on aliens.
One more, if you want to go.
Okay, one more. And I've got one then.
Ford sync system tips police to hit and run driver. A woman motorist involved in a hit and run accident thought she got away with the crime until her own car called emergency services.
That's good.
Kathy Bernstein, 57, had driven off after crashing into the back of a Dodge Caravan, putting the female driver in hospital in the city of Port St. Lucie in St. Lucie County, Florida. But her car, a Ford Focus, had other ideas. St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office received an automated call from the vehicle's emergency system sync, stating the owner had been involved in a crash and to press 0 to speak with the occupants of the vehicle.
So
your own car's dobbing you in now?
Yeah.
Basically, Michael, I'm reporting you for this accident.
Oh, God,
no, Kit.
She looks a bit rough. Not a flattering photo.
Most police mugshots aren't, though.
No, nobody.
Escobar's, he had a smile on his face. He looked quite dashing.
Yeah, because he knew he was in bed with the CIA, so he couldn't be touched.
He kicked him out of Parliament. What else do you want? I really do enjoy the show Narcos, but I find it a struggle because I have to read a lot of it. And reading's not an issue for me. I just like, you know, I like my attention on 2 or 3 things at once rather than just reading what's going on the screen.
Movies are a visual medium.
That's it.
Yeah.
I suppose I could learn Spanish.
I don't go to the movies to read. Yeah, Narcos is another. I know I should watch it, but so yeah, that's the lesson to learn from this is all these fancy gadgets might sound great in your car until you commit a crime and it starts grassing you up.
Yeah.
It's your fault for buying a flashy car and not disabling the sync system or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it's kind of your fault for crashing into the back of somebody and driving off, to be perfectly honest.
Especially as the other person went to hospital. That's not very nice.
That does suck. So I say good on the car. I hope it was an Autobot in disguise. He's just here on surveillance, she doesn't know, and he was doing his bit.
I actually hope that she was an evangelical Christian who's just basically shat on Jesus' teachings by doing all of this, because, you know, she's in Florida, she's white, she's called Bernstein.
Most God-fearing Christians do shit all over Jesus' teachings.
That's what I mean, it's just another nail in the irony of it all for me.
Yeah, fuck it.
That makes sense. I'm mixing metaphors, it doesn't matter.
Grassed up by your own technology. Yeah.
Hoisted by your own petard.
Very nice. Can I call a piss break? If that's the way news before we go into the meat and bones of it.
Meat
and bones. Oh, fucking eating his meat. Fucking Christmas.
Brief, but it's more of a.
We're back.
Oh, we're back. Yes, sorry. So the news was missing documents, surveillance drones, and
skull-faced asteroids.
Yeah, and AI cars grassing up their owners. I watched a movie on Netflix, so the reason I want to talk about it is because I may have said a few times on the podcast that I've never been into fantasy. Elves, orcs, never been my thing. Lord of the Rings. You know, I'm not going to say it's shit and it should be in my own reggae box, but I've just always been a sci-fi guy. Well, this movie Bright, starring on Netflix with Will Smith, takes that idea of all them sort of orc legends and elves, and they're always set in the fucking dark ages or something, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
Well, what if none of those races lived on and it was modern day? And it's basically 2 cops in downtown LA. One's an orc, one's Will Smith. He's the first orc to become a policeman. Anyway,
are orcs almost like black guys in this scenario?
Kind of.
Like they've got ghettos and they're considered a bit.
They're second-class citizens.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah.
There's some racial elements definitely, and magic is a real thing in this universe, in this movie, and there's sort of a magic FBI who come and deal with, and they're called Brights, people who can handle a magic wand because a normal person can't. Anyway, it might sound a bit lame, but he's actually a really fucking violent buddy cop movie with racial elements, and fucking loved it. So did my girlfriend. Went online, and the reviews are ripping it a new arsehole. Critics reviews, and I went on the IMDb, and you can see that critics reviews, user reviews, and the two scores are so disparaging. The user reviews generally very positive. Even if people didn't really like it, they liked the concept of having elves and ogres in a downtown LA setting.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Worth a watch.
I would have been watching it myself, but my internet's been down since Boxing Day. Thank you very much, Rupert Murdoch, you old leather-skinned, leathery lizard bastard.
Don't take my internet away.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, reptilian, leathery-skinned.
Yeah, so where I think the conspiracy is, though, is because this is a Netflix movie, and it's the first time they've put this amount of budget into a movie, 90 million.
It's a lot for that. It's a lot for Netflix.
So they're encroaching on the Hollywood studios' fucking toes here. This isn't a series, you know, a 10-part, you know, this is like, no, a movie, a blockbuster style movie. And so I think, well, I think it's quite obvious. The user reviews positive, critical reviews incredibly negative. They're being bought off, paid off. They're in the pockets of the fucking Hollywood system, and it just makes you. What's the fucking point of criticism? What's the use of it, really? You know, I like sometimes to read a review that I agree with. I enjoy that, but then when you love a movie and you read a critic ripping it to shreds, or an album or anything like that, it just highlights to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but just think about how many classic films. Cult films now, but were slagged off at the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the way it goes. I just thought it was interesting that the just how disparaging it was. The difference between the user reviews of this film and the official critical reviews, and it's like, well, that's obviously some fuckery afoot. But anyway, I recommend. It's a good film.
It's interesting you see the budget of it, because 90 million is a sizable budget for a film. Yeah. And I'd imagine a good sort of probably 30 million of that was paying Will Smith to appear in it, in all fairness.
Possibly, yes.
I mean, that's why he wasn't in Independence Day 2, they couldn't afford him.
They needed special effects too. So,
I mean, I think it was like $50 million per film he gets something right now, so maybe a little bit less for Netflix because he wants to do it.
An experiment, yeah, I think maybe.
So, but I'd still imagine he pocketed a good chunk of that. And then David Ayer was a director, Fury, Suicide Squad, so he must have cost a fair bit as well.
Yeah.
But still, a lot of money to spend for Netflix.
Yeah.
But if it's, I don't have an issue with Netflix, but like I say, the budget. Now I've been watching BoJack Horseman and Archer.
I love those, both of those.
Yeah, they're
brilliant. Two things I have watched most of.
They are very funny.
BoJack especially.
But they both got ratings of 8. And so it makes you wonder, like, animated shows, they're not a threat.
Yeah.
This $90 million movie,
starring Will Smith.
Will Smith is coming to Netflix.
Yeah.
Who else is going to follow?
Yeah, so they're probably out. It's in their interest to sort of maybe trash this film critically. But then there's a bit of a conspiracy surrounding the Star Wars reviews that bots. What's the opposite of SJW? Alt-right
bots.
People have released bots to slate the movie because they're angry about how many female characters and racially diverse characters are in the film, which, by Christ, is the most smallest, stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's a fucking and they've always been multiracial. Fucking
Orlando was the only black guy in the universe, though.
Well, okay,
in the originals.
But
yeah, Star Wars Holocaust wasn't a good film too. I missed that one out.
Wow. Let's get on to aliens. Hey, let's talk about some aliens.
Subject.
Do you want to start with the Star God's penis, Mike?
The Oumuamua?
That's him.
Yeah, let's talk about this son of a bitch.
Yeah, man. Okay, this is the first alien rock from another solar system.
So it's
enter ours.
So we don't know if it's a rock.
We don't
know if it's a rock. It could be a probe. That's one theory I've heard.
It could be, but they do think it's metal rich, don't they?
Well, I was going to say this earlier, when we were talking about the asteroid and harvesting, because there are people trying to work out, because if we could harness asteroids, they're full of gold and precious
metal, aren't they?
Like, someone could make billions out of some sort of catchy net, space net thing.
Let's have a big net in space.
I also heard on the podcast Radio Lab that every satellite that's launched is every single thing that's launched into space is a bit of a crapshoot, because there's literally a cloud of shit
Yeah, there is.
floating in our
There is.
outside our planet. Human shit. And
So
even if a speck
we
of
aren't,
paint...
we aren't just trashing the planet. You know what I mean?
It's fucking atmosphere. And there, literally, so if a fleck of paint, apparently if a fleck of paint did
I've heard this
hit the
before,
window
yeah.
of one of the space stations and almost fucking break it open. So that's how treacherous it is up there. I don't know how I got into that, but so yeah, the space net to catch asteroids, it wouldn't... Well, we'd have to find a fucking gap to fire it
There is
through.
a company that has invested in space nets to capture the debris.
Oh, now that could be beautiful.
Someone's doing it. Is it
Please,
a
somebody.
Swedish company?
Something like that.
Basically, I'm sure they've been given some kind of provisional contract to clear up space.
Oh, that would be beautiful. It sucks that they have to do it, that we've created this problem, but Jesus, if we could actually fix... Because we can't fix the... Well, I don't know if I believe in global warming or not. I don't know. Don't.
By the time we get to Mars, there'll be old fridge freezers and mattresses dumped on
Urine-soaked mattresses on Mars.
It's going to look like any country lane in England. Children's toys and a pishy mattress.
Why is there always children's toys?
There's always some shitty old slide from the garden that
Yeah.
nobody wants anymore.
And why do I always?
Mattress.
And why do I only ever find one shoe?
It always freaks me out when I'm out on the road and I see a random shoe at the side of the road. I'm like, where's the other one?
Yeah.
How did it get there?
This is it.
But right, back to it on a... I can't say it.
On a mower.
Yeah, I'm a mower.
On a mower.
I'm a mower. Okay, it means a messenger from afar in... I've forgotten what the language...
Hawaiian.
Is it Hawaiian? Is it the language?
I don't know what their native
Yeah.
tongue is, but let's just refer to it as Hawaiian from now on for the sake of
Who
these.
chose the name? NASA or the person who discovered
Wasn't
it?
the radio telescope that found, or the telescope that found it in Hawaii?
It was.
Yeah, that's probably why they've...
But do you place any meaning to the choosing of the name, the Great Messenger?
Yeah, a messenger from afar.
Messenger from...
Well, I suppose it makes sense. I mean, message from afar, it's out the solar system.
That's it.
What's the message?
I mean, because let's say that we managed to somehow get it, it might have stuff on it that
Well,
we've never seen. So
The
it could be
message
a-
is that it's nothing like we've ever seen. Because it's at a ratio of 1 to 10.
The message is, tune in, turn on, and drop out dudes, because they're here!
That would explain my missing time period the other week.
No, that's alcohol, Ben.
Aliens, Gaz. Aliens.
Well, excuse me while I take a sip of this tasty alien. Sorry.
Yeah, the biggest ratio before was 1 to 3.
Ratio of what, sorry?
The asteroid.
Oh, so this is the biggest asteroid we've ever seen.
Well, it's the biggest ratio because it's 1 to 10.
Right.
So it's
How
10
does-
long to 1.
Oh, so it is
Right.
literally it's a long because it's
Cigar shape.
it's
Yeah.
cigar shaped. Yeah, I was going to say penis shaped.
Or phallic shape, yeah. Whichever you prefer.
It's shaped like a massive space dong, and it's hurtling through past
I
Earth.
bet you there are fucking some 19-year-old rainbow-haired feminist who identifies as a unicorn is literally rampaging out there. They're like, why do even asteroids have to be phallic? Fuck you!
Where's the vagina-shaped asteroids?
Yes, the first visitor from another soloid that's shaped like a dick! No!
Come here to fuck us. Yeah, so ratio of 1 to 10, considering 1 to 3 is the biggest ever.
Wow.
So it's a very, is that a natural formation?
I don't know, it's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what goes on out there. You're the science officer.
Well, most things, when they coalesce, the whole point of planets being spherical is because of the gravity turns it that way.
Now, this is the biggest thing... No, sorry. This is the first thing they say to have come into our solar system. But it's the first thing we've noticed come into our solar system.
Yeah, that's
That's the difference, yeah.
So-
They do think that there's possibly 700 trillion objects per cubic parsec in our solar neighbourhood of items like this.
And after this
Parsecs.
shit we've
I don't know
thrown
what a cubic parsec is.
I know that I can.
Be honest.
I know that you can do the Kessel run in 12 parsecs. Is it 12?
That's very true. Fastest hump for junk in a galaxy.
Yeah, I know you can do that, but other than that, I've no idea what a parsec is.
It came from the direction of Vega star in the constellation Lyra, and now it's heading towards the constellation Pegasus.
Oh.
Its max speed was 87.7 kilometers per second.
Oh man, how many miles an hour is that? How many miles per hour to a...
God, science
No
officer.
idea. That's maths.
No, I'm only joking. Yeah, we don't do maths.
That's maths.
Maths ain't the same thing as science, is it, Mike?
No, it's completely. Maths isn't a science. No, it is a science. But it's part of science that I despise.
Didn't we reach a really, like...
Oh, we said that maths was... You can't fuck with maths on the Christmas one. It was
Yeah,
La Lingua Pura.
It was the purest thing in the world, we realised.
Yeah, but it's boring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
No, you're right, you're back on there. It's fucking boring, you're right there.
Okay, this thing was discovered by Robert Werrick at Pan Stars Telescope in Hawaii. It's dark red in colour, which is similar to the others in our solar system. There's no signs of a comet tail though. As it approaches the sun, the sun's heat should burn off some of the ice, melt some of the ice off, and it should.
Ah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
This is because it's covered in a layer of organic insulation. This is it's got like a protective heat shield on it that no one knows what it is.
Wow. So there's
Well,
every
we're getting
chance that
proper
this
weird
thing
now.
is either A... So, alright, so if you think about that, let's put a pin in that. It's either a potentially a living organism in itself.
It could be an alien itself, yeah.
Or B, it's been given that because
A massive...
to protect it from whatever could hit it.
A
So it
massive
could be a
cup-shaped alien.
A massive dick-shaped alien.
It's looking for a pussy-shaped alien.
But, okay, but you could also have a spaceship where it's like ray shields and you press a button and it releases an organic element, you know, not necessarily a force field, but like a bacteria that spreads over the ship.
An
protects
idea
you from heat.
that I read in sci-fi, and I'm not sure if it's got grounds in science, it might have, is that people have been developed, or in the books they developed an organic material that basically repairs itself. So if there was a hull fracture, the skin of the ship is organic and basically would form a scab over it and then slowly repair itself.
Well, this would be one big scab. What's this dick been doing? Maybe it did find a space.
It's got space syphilis.
Space AIDS.
This is where it's originated from.
Yeah.
Um,
Or it could be just full of spores that are going to be thrown down to Earth, and within a few years we're going to find fucking some kind of alien attacking us.
yeah, well, we're firing lasers at it, aren't we? To I don't know of the science behind this. Remember, you were the fact checker. Could something not travel back down the laser beam that we are projecting? Do you know what I mean? We're throwing a laser at this object. What if something could travel back down the laser microscopically? I don't know if that makes any fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, according to we haven't got the technology to do something like that because we're just firing light at it. I presume that's a measured distance, course, speed, things like that.
That's how we're telling what colour it is and stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's a dark red object with an organic fucking coat, an organic condom. It's wearing a fucking space, Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah.
To protect it from heat.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
not the only odd thing either, because it follows an unbound hyperbolic path.
Goes where it wants.
Basically,
Hyperbolic, so it's just like, this path is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's the worst fucking path I've ever been on.
So I'm fucking going over there, mate. I'm going over here.
Sorry.
well, everything else we know of follows. It travels elliptically.
Right, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, around the sun, known as Kepler's law. But this isn't. It's not orbiting the sun, but it's deflected instead by its gravitational pull.
So it's
So it's slingshot out of our.
slinging. It's moving away from the sun when it shouldn't be.
It's moving out of our universe now. Yeah.
Slingshotting, like they did in one of those Star Trek
Yeah.
movies. Didn't they go around the... they went...
As Armageddon.
No, it's
They
in a Star...
slingshotted around the moon.
No, it's how they
Around
travel
the
back
comet.
in time in Star Trek 4, I think.
Oh man, I've given up
with
on that point.
with the whales, they fly into the orbit on one side, get flung around out on the other side to give them enough
Speed.
science word, to do a thing. So it could have gone round something, but I read it was interesting. Shitloads of stuff is flying out of our solar system all the time, rocks and things from the Big Bang, from whatever. So it's fairly logical that there'll be other things coming in from others the same way. Just rocks, debris, stuff, but maybe it's just made out of different shit. Excuse me. Shit we've never seen before. Or is this weird trajectory because it's under its own thrust?
Oh, yeah.
Mm. Well, they did some computer simulations on it to find out where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they found out it was exceptionally unlikely to be part of our solar system.
Fair enough.
It's quite definite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exceptionally unlikely.
Yeah, they said it's likely to be ejected by another solar system, and they tracked it back, and it actually passed through an Oort cloud of star system TYC 4742-1027-1.
I know it well.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Can't they name stuff better? You know, he's named after your fucking self or something, you know.
Galaxy Steve.
Yeah, why not? Actually, you know, Fight Club.
Yeah.
There's one phrase that's always stuck in my head from Fight Club, and it's when space exploration really kicks off, it'll be the corporations that name everything: the Starbucks Galaxy, the Microsoft Universe, and it's like, it's fucking true. That will happen.
That idea is in the first Red Dwarf novel as well. Of they're literally exploding asteroids and planets to create advertisements.
That's it. Yeah, drink Pepsi.
Yeah, it's in.
Yeah,
that's what Crichton's ship was up to.
That's right. The Nova 5.
Yeah.
It was, they were literally going to blow up 50 suns to create the words "drink Pepsi" in the night sky of Earth. Cola wars will be over forever.
Yeah.
The Cola Wars.
So yeah, it's an idea.
Yeah.
Scarily, the fact that more than one sort of comedian has had that idea probably said it's going to be a reality at some point. They'll fill the ozone layer with a fucking sheet that's like the Coca-Cola.
Oh man,
it's like a circle that we can all see. They'll put a filter on the sun, so when it rises at a certain time, the sun will go behind the Coca-Cola logo.
Yeah.
It will illuminate us all.
Everything will be fucking red and white. It's Coke time.
Oh no.
So there's one more theory, which is the most likely theory, is it's to be a solar lapis, which means lonely rock. I.e. it's been ejected from a solar system where planets are forming, and a long time ago, and it's travelled to space.
Millennia.
And so maybe this organic coat is sort of space barnacles.
Maybe.
It's travelled that far, do you know what I mean? It's just built up it's travelled through entire solar systems, like covered in shit.
But this is cutting through the bull in the post-truth apocalypse, and we don't deal in what's the most likely.
Oh, no.
We deal in what is
the fantastical.
The fantastical, and so aliens. There you go.
Well, here you go. Would you like to know? This is from the Sun.
Okay.
So if you're from outside the UK, the Sun is a fucking rag. But
owned by the same guy that controls my fucking internet.
Yeah. So fuck you, allegedly. Not you, listener. Anyway, this is from the Sun, and it says, "Why Stephen Hawking and the world's top scientists say this massive object hurtling through space could be an alien spaceship. The British genius is leading a team of scientists who are scanning the baffling space rock for any signs of extraterrestrial life. Brit scientist Stephen Hawking is among the leading space experts today, using top-of-the-range technology to scan a vast cigar-shaped object for signs of alien life." Okay, but what's Stephen saying?
You know, they mentioned the fact he was British like 3 times in that opening paragraph.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that got to do with anything?
He's one of ours, Ben.
You can tell this is the Sun.
Yeah, but in their twisted world, he'd be shot.
Well, he would, yeah.
The boffins are listening.
Sterilised at least.
The boffins.
Boffins, yeah.
Are listening for electromagnetic signals which cannot be produced in nature. If found, that would be the biggest indication ever that the extraterrestrial intelligence could be involved. Is there an actual quote? Hawking and his colleagues at Breakthrough said, "Researchers working on long-distance space transportation have previously suggested that a cigar or needle shape is the most likely architecture for an interstellar spacecraft, since this would minimise friction and damage from interstellar gas and dust. Other anomalies from normal asteroids are its long, slender shape and flight path." Oh, we've been through this. Something dense, most likely rock, but possibly metal.
Most asteroids are metal, in all fairness. There's a lot of iron in them.
That's it.
I've seen Armageddon, I know how these things work.
I thought that was interesting, but bit that Oh, a statement for the £75 million SETI project breakthrough listen launched by Russian digitech mogul Yuri Milner in 2015 said, research... Oh, I've read that bit. Oh, for fuck's sake. But yeah, I've never thought about that. So the most likely shape for a long-distance intergalactical spaceship would just be a boring old cigar.
I guess so.
It's not going to look like a fucking Star Destroyer from Star Wars or anything like that. Or,
no, but I suppose
it's like a cock.
Everything's cock-shaped in this. But yeah, pretty much.
Big old space cock.
I suppose if you think about it, though, because you're gonna have to like. Space isn't empty, is it? There's a lot of shit flying about, and you are gonna. Every ship that we ever send into space is gonna be able to take an asteroid impact off it.
I think it's one of those things where you're going to have to accept an asteroid impact means you're fucked, whatever shape the
so you make
the
it
ship is.
As big as possible and with some big ass, some kind of shields.
It would have to be built in space. We learnt this on a previous episode, didn't we? So you build your giant space cock in orbit, if we can get rid of the space junk.
SS Space Cock.
This is the captain of the SS Space Cock. Starla Cocklog. 20. Right, anyway.
Can't you do a Picard voice? Because as we've established, he was a superior captain.
How does he sound? So posh old Brit.
Yeah.
Captain's cock. Stardate. Sorry. So shall we try? Because this is the first part of the alien news on our emergency broadcast. What are our? Should we sum up our opinions on the space cock?
Aliens.
I'd love to believe that it's.
That organic thing freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's because I think, well, how come we've not seen anything else with that on it?
That's strange, isn't it? What if it's not a ship and it's a probe?
That's it's either I'm going for probe. I'm going for some kind of
an
unmanned sort of exploration probe, which like our Voyager, but just a lot more advanced.
Yeah.
It could be a cedar.
Or it could be something that's going to launch seed life.
If that lands in the ocean, the organic layer will come away and the organic life, so they can seed planets.
Before you know it, we're fighting some kind of merman.
Terraforming. Well, it didn't come and probe us, did it? It just sort of passed through the edge of our solar system a bit.
Well, it passed near Earth. It passed.
It was checking us out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
18 kilometres. 18 million kilometres.
I was going to say, damn, fuck me.
18 kilometres.
Is that what my arse hurts? Pretty close to me, but near a giant space car.
18 million. That's quite.
That's still pretty close.
Quite close in
So a much more advanced. So let's think about our Voyager satellites and that. They're made of sort of alloys and metals that will protect them from heat on impact. But let's say a more advanced, technologically advanced society than us. Their space probe would have, like we said, an organic bacterial
self-repairing
layer, around it that made it last for billions of years because it's travelled through solar systems. Or it could just be a rock from an explosion that, when we think cigar-shaped, it might not be neatly cylindrical, perfectly formed cigar cylinder.
Oh no!
It could be a rough ass. It could be a rock from an explosion. Either way, I think the first thing that we've ever noticed come from another solar system into ours, whatever it is worth talking about and celebrating, and the fact that they've got the technology to notice it
and the fact it's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Is that a science? Is that how the scientific community described it, Mike?
It's the official verdict of science of it, Mike.
It's weird as fuck.
Listeners nodding his head like, yep. It's my diagnosis.
It's
weird as fuck.
My work is done here.
You're right, man. And like, a quick story. I freaked myself out the other night with this stuff. I listened to at work. I'll give a shout out to the podcast Ground Zero Media. It's a fake. They don't need any help from us. They're syndicated on the radio in America on like actual radio. But he does 5-hour long shows, and he's nothing like Alex Jones. He's not that bad.
Not a mentalist.
But then he does believe in a lot of stuff, and he gives everyone a chance to listen. He doesn't just say bullshit. He gives everyone a chance to tell.
Are you having a pop at my presenting style there?
No.
Bullshit.
But no, I listened to 5 hours of him freaking out about the Pentagon thing and the on the mama thing, and I really got myself into a weird state of like, I wouldn't say freaked out.
What was he saying?
But he was just quite. Not scared by it, but just like, this is huge. He was more putting the whole thing together in this idea of we're being a big psyop all this UFO news and leakage coming out at once is a reason for it, and we're being prepared for something bigger, and it just made me a bit freaking... Because I'm going to read you an article in a bit where psychologists have already started putting work into researching how they think people are going to deal with different levels of, like, an alien that looks like us, a bacterial alien, one that looks like a fucking squid, you know. So, and he was, and listening to all of this, it just weirded me out a bit, and I was like, oh, we're being prepared for something, how will I react? And I told my girlfriend about it, and I told you boys, like, she essentially laughed in my face. And she sent me a jokey message on the way to this one, like, don't worry, I'll give you a cuddle if you're upset tomorrow. So I told her we were discussing aliens. But I just thought it was huge, you know, all the fantasies I've done over the years in my head, and little stories I've wrote about aliens, and, like, you know, all the comic books I've read, all the movies we've watched, and then now it could be becoming a fucking reality, right? I know this is softly catchy monkey, these are small, you know, it could be a rock in space, but I've seen a video that we're going to discuss in a bit, in the last few weeks, of what looked like a fucking spinning flying saucer.
A spinning Tic Tac.
Yeah, and it was released by the frickin' Pentagon, not Billy fucking Knob Jockey. Somebody showed me, my friend Lee, God bless him, he didn't think it was real, but he showed me this video today of a guy in a hotel room who claimed he could open portals.
Oh, God.
He has this program running on his laptop and this device on his bed, and I'm watching. And yeah, pretty good CGI, I've got to be honest. A portal opens up in this hotel room like a circle, and you can see through to the outside. Anyway, and he's just talking over it calmly and everything. I was like, what fucking bullshit, man.
Did he walk through it?
No, he didn't.
Well, if he sends something through it, I'll believe him.
Yeah, oh man, it was just... But yeah, I got a bit freaked out by all this alien stuff, because I'm not alone, am I? Yeah, I called everyone on Facebook cunts the other day, like I said earlier, because I'm quite freaked out by all this. It's big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
What everyone wanted, all the conspiracy theorists, and now we've got it. Whoa.
Thing is, do we want it?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm questioning.
Because I mean,
it was nicer when it was a conspiracy.
Hawkins, I know, is very, very critical of us reaching out to the stars, because he says, I'll paraphrase it, it'll be like Columbus meeting the Indians. It didn't go well for the Indians in the long run.
Well, we're the Indians.
We're the Indians in this scenario.
Oh.
And, you know, it's
we'll get
very...
cool headdresses.
Yeah, but we'll also get wiped out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting thing, you see. There's two different disclosure paths, isn't there? There's one where it's the bad alien, the aliens are a threat. There's one where it's good alien, aliens are peaceful, they're to help.
Yeah, and the more advanced the civilization, the more it should be peaceful. But you're always going to have twats. They're going to have space twats and space hippies. And knowing our luck as a species, we're going to end up with a space twat first.
But I think it's going to start small with that. Look at the other story that I think we forgot to mention today. It's just popped in my head now. Bacteria on the space station, the ISS.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
The cosmonauts reported finding bacteria that they claimed did not originate from Earth. And then there was a counter story, I think NASA then said no, it was picked up on the way up there, it is earthbound, but there's a bit of conflict there. The cosmonauts were like, no, we believe this originated...
Astronauts.
Russians, aren't they cosmonauts?
Well, the international... Well, there could be cosmonauts up there.
Yeah, they're the one. There's Russians.
Do you know it's a cosmonaut or is it an astronaut?
I'm sure it's the
There's
Russians.
a difference.
I know it's Russians.
The Russian ones are just floating...
What? I'm really confused.
They're lost. Now. The Russian ones are just floating.
Oh, I'm with you now. No, they're living ones that they're sent up there. And I also know that, so I didn't click on this. It's connected. I've read Commander, what's the Canadian astronaut? Commander...
Tim Peake?
No,
he's British, isn't he?
The one who played...
that was it. That was Tim Peake, yeah.
It's Tom somebody, isn't it?
Tom... Christ.
Major Tom.
Major Tom, yeah.
It was, yeah. But anyway, I read his book, and like the after effects of astronauts coming back to Earth after a long time up there is pretty fucking devastating on their body. And it might be Tim Peake, who I just saw a headline, I didn't click it, but is he the one who's been up there for the longest time?
Yeah.
Apparently he's
I
having
thought Major
awful...
Tundi was the longest.
Oh,
He's been there for 20 years.
Hashtag bring home Major Tundi.
let's spare a thought for poor old Major Tundi. But yeah, apparently this guy's having horrific after effects on his body. Like his legs get hugely, massively swollen and look like Marshmallow Man legs and stuff. Like,
Sure.
it's not good for you being in space, the
No.
human body. We haven't quite worked that out yet. How to? I think it's the weightlessness.
Yeah, they have to take exercise every day, don't they?
Yeah.
There's
But
also
it still doesn't.
because the
meant to be
weightlessness,
funny.
obviously, it's hard to think about, but it's affecting the innards of your body.
Yeah, well,
in a
yeah.
very real, sort of the same way that it is the outer. But yeah, that's a bit of a tangent. But
Actually,
yeah.
I just follow that up because I was listening to an episode. One of my the Infinite Monkey Cage, Brian Cox
Love
and
it.
someone did an episode on Space Time. Brian Blessed was the host, and I love Brian. I'm Brian Blessed, fantastic, great guy, and he wanted to go into space, didn't he? And we talked about this before.
Yeah, I think
Anyway, he's Brian Cox is there, and he says I was speaking to this Russian guy, and I was with an American NASA scientist. He's like, look, we figured out how to do it. If someone has a heart attack in space, we figured out how to get them. We can administer the defibrillator, and we figured out how to do it all in space. And the Russian guy just sort of turns around coldly and looks at him and says, you know that in Russia we only send healthy people into space. It's like almost like NASA just fucking around wasting their time with that shit. It's just great.
we would know the possibility of heart attack before we sent him.
In Russia, heart attack has you.
I had heart attack for breakfast. It was no problem. But yeah, so that was another alien story. The bacteria on the ISS. Is there a freaking psyop going on? It's all come out at once, has it not? And does this? You two know about the Disclosure Project, don't you?
Yeah.
That's probably an episode in itself. But
Oh my god, yeah.
all those lieutenants and pilots and credible people.
There was a citizens' hearing, wasn't there?
Yeah, sorry, we should explain for the listener if you didn't know. And then there's a lot of pilots, lieutenants, credible people giving.
Paul Hellyer being the biggest one, the former Canadian Defence Minister.
Okay, and they were all giving accounts of UFOs and alien abductions, weren't there? There's some of those in there too. And I have previously, on previous podcasts, scoffed at ufology and all that because it's not the idea of looking for you. What I scoff at is the stories of the people, the abduction stories. Basically, I have a problem with because I think it's often people just fucking attention seeking, and it's always some crazy fucking weirdo ringing into a radio show later.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
He's killed
Disclose.
19 aliens with his samurai
Yeah,
sword.
but Disclose was different, wasn't it? It was fucking people in uniform, still in their uniform.
Serving police officers.
Yeah, on a bloody stand, like giving their word. So doesn't this throws different light on all that as well, doesn't it?
But are we more inclined to believe someone in uniform than we are just a random person?
Yes, we are. Psychologically, probably. I didn't think of that. But
Until the head honcho, in his suit and tie, comes on and speaks on camera to the people, they won't believe it.
they're not bothered. No one's mentioned it on Facebook. Even my post saying, come on, you cunts. Is this not more interesting than a Walking Dead, is how I phrased it.
Yeah, but then again,
no one's into
everyone's bombarded with this. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of hoaxes and...
Yeah, there's a lot of...
that's
There's
true.
so many... I mean, I got a friend from work who shares literally every crappy UFO video that comes their way, and I'm watching them and I'm thinking... And I'm fed up of, like... You get to a point where you don't want to sort of say that's bullshit on someone.
Yeah.
Because even I can tell that's CGI. I'm no technical wizard. I'm looking at it going, nah, that ain't real.
You can be too saturated with it.
That's it. That's what I mean. So we have become too saturated with it to a point. And especially when you think of all the films that have been out. I mean, but there's more films of alien invasion than there is of peaceful aliens. So maybe that's a psyop in itself. Maybe they're gearing us up for that.
Well, I forgot there is a term for that with the way we've been over decades, sort of softly through the movies we watched.
Conditioned.
Having ideas planted so that when we do see a fleet, a horde of spaceships over the skyline of a major western city,
and if they are
Oh,
we have
peaceful,
a visual reference for that. We might not.
Independence Day. Just like Independence Day.
Yeah.
We need to leave town.
if they are peaceful, I'm going to say if they are peaceful, then the elites would know that their time is up, because no peaceful civilization if they're coming to intervene, would allow such a corrupt system.
Yes, but then the elites,
flourish.
our elites would spin that to say
Of
that these
course,
guys are
that's what
coming
I
here
mean.
to change your way of life. They want to conquer you.
That's it.
And before you know it, they've mobilised the human race. Because we've all said we'd fight in an alien war if it comes down to it, because it's our fucking planet at the end of the day. And
It depends on the circumstances.
yeah, but they would spin it, so they're invading. I mean,
Perfect example, what I mentioned earlier, that movie Bright. So this orc was the first orc to join the LAPD, and they showed like a 30-second clip, and I thought, oh, that's clever, of the Joe Rogan show of him talking to an orc, saying, what about this fucking guy who's joined the LAPD? And then they bring up a picture of it, and I was like, shit! And I was like, that's what it would be like, but I guess we'll get that, won't we? We'll have to look for our online media that we're used to.
That's it.
And find what are people really saying, because we know the main... I imagine the main, like, the ITV News and all that, the government's going to be telling us... stay
in your
away,
homes,
danger,
don't panic.
you need to buy this survival kit from us.
you'll be getting a flyer through your door in the next couple of days, a government flyer telling you what to do.
But you know, I don't know, what would the story be? And if they come here, why are they coming here? By accident? Just to investigate? Or to harvest us? I mean, we'll never know, will we?
Well, I've got some, I did a little bit of digging, and I found some alien races who we're probably interacting with, or suddenly the ones who are seen more.
Okay.
And what their intentions are thought to be, I can give you before we crack on with the UFOs. We know about the Anunnaki from Nibiru, probably created us, and they like gold.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they
End result, working in gold, toiling in gold mines.
End result, working in gold mines where they fuck the best looking women.
Not good.
Not good for us.
Them.
1 out of 5.
Reptilians, we all know about them.
Yeah.
The Andromedans, humanoid, average lifespan about 2,000 years, actually give a shit about us. They're the good guys in this scenario. The Nordics, we all know what they look like. Name self-explanatory, except they're about 7 feet tall. They're telepaths.
Apparently Vrillian's one.
Is he a Palladian or
Palladian?
He's a Palladian. They're coming up. We all know about them as well. But they care more about the planet than us.
Okay.
Where do all these come? Like who?
People channel them, don't they?
Oh.
And then you got, of course, abduction things. But these are the I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? It's all happenstance. But this is just.
It's all spurious.
It's always
claims.
The Greys. The Greys, the creepy, sexless men.
The ones that kidnap us at night.
43% of
Anal
all
Things in your bum.
43% of all reported alien interactions are the Greys.
Okay.
And then you got the Pelagians, which is Vrilly Boy and his intergalactic council of hippies.
Really, boy.
So basically, out of them 5, you got 3 of them that don't really give too much of a shit.
Something's just crossed my mind. It's fairly dark, but the idea of us toiling down gold mines. A lot of children in Africa and sort of the Middle East as well now are toiling down mines for gold and for minerals for our iPhones. What if they're already? What if are they the Anunnaki who want the gold? Yeah. What if they're already here? What if we've got our myths and legends mixed up and they're actually shapeshifters instead of lizards?
Yeah.
What if they're fucking both? They're already here putting kids down fucking mines.
Well, what if? I'll throw it out there. Now, there's always a thing that Eisenhower met with aliens in the 50s and agreed the abduction treaty. In other words, they gave us their technology. And we gave them the right to abduct people under certain conditions. They only take so many a year. A list of names was given, and the people who were abducted returned with no memory of it.
So we got like Wi-Fi.
So it's like a treaty of it, basically, right?
But why do they take us? What do they get?
Because they either want us for crossbreeding purposes, because their own race might be done. This is the Greys.
Right.
That's a theory. To create hybrids, maybe a better race, a race that can reproduce more easily. Could be any number of reasons. Or to infiltrate us. Who knows? Anyway, so there's always that theory, which kind of ties in with what you were saying. Is when they say the Anunnaki, the Greys show up and make this treaty with the US government, and then the Anunnaki show up and say, "Well, we like your gold. We'd like that gold. And either we can all show up in force, or you can just get some kids to mine it for us. I don't care. As long as you get us that gold, we'll stay back."
Yeah.
So what if we've got deals with all of them?
Because it's pretty fucked up, isn't it? I mean, we kind of know the real world answer, but it's pretty fucked up that we don't get involved in, kids in Africa being sent down mines forcibly slave labour.
No, we all know what's going on, but no one ever seems...
We don't send, the government don't send crack commando units in there to smash that and stop that shit. But we will go into other countries, won't we? And we don't...
We're sending crack commando units to safeguard those mines, like we did when the Ebola epidemic was on.
Oh, and like poppy fields and things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a reason we don't go... You'd like to think, if we're so moral, like we had to go and stop Gaddafi because he was so evil, we're so moral as a country, we would be going and stopping this
horrible child slavery thing that's going on.
Well, it shows it's not about morality.
Exactly. But is that because of alien involvement?
Maybe that's why they never found Maddie McCann. She's doing a South African gold mine.
Oh, I'm not touching that. But that story, Ben, that theory Ben's just given, though, of, like, that maybe the reason we don't stop this child slavery down mines is because that's the backdoor way that the Anunnaki are getting their gold without fucking with the entire society and freaking everybody out.
We get a bit of technology, you know?
We get, like, Wi-Fi and driverless cars.
Or more, as I will explain later.
So yeah, that's pretty fucked. Not making light of, when I give out these mad freaking theories, I'm not making light of the situation in these countries with child labour, obviously. It's just, you know, it's pretty fucking horrific, so maybe there's a fantastical reason behind it.
There might be a more sinister reason behind it than just pure profit.
Yes, because...
Actually, that's sinister, actually.
You have to admit then that humanity are basically cunts.
Oh, yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
We are saying cunt a lot this episode.
It's a good fucking word.
It's Latin, means slit.
Well, there you go. Every day's a school day.
So we're actually being, classically, we're showing our classical education.
We're being educational.
Tits funny.
And that's our science officer. Oh, crap.
Alright, can we take a break?
Yeah, we can, yeah. Boobies. Fantastic. Okay, we're back from the break. Bladder's empty and cans full. So we'll crack on with the main thrust of this, really, which is the Pentagon leaks on the UFOs and some quite extraordinary footage and some very, well, shocking stuff, really. I mean, when you consider that 1969 they were apparently stopped being interested in UFOs, turns out they've been a lot more interested than we thought.
So here's a little clip of, what was his name? The former...
Louis Elizondo was the head of this division.
Yeah, and he's now formally head, isn't he? He's no longer a government employee.
That's correct.
But here he is talking to... Oh God, I'm not doing very well here. I'm not sure. I think it's Sky News. Let's try and get this nice.
And this was set up by 2 senators, wasn't it? Or 3 senators?
The head of the Senate Majority Leader.
Advanced
Aerospace Threat Identification Program was
you guys,
really
can you hear
designed
that?
to do just that. From a national security perspective, identify those things that we see, whether we see them electro-optically, we see them with radar, we see them as eyewitness reports, through a myriad of different ways and avenues that we receive the information, and try to ascertain and determine if that information is a potential threat to national security, in a nutshell.
So, what did you find?
Well, we found a lot. I think it's probably been a little bit mischaracterized in some of the social media you see and what people put out, because a lot of times when we don't have a lot of information, we tend to fill in those gaps with what we think is logical. And there's still, by the way, a lot we really don't know. I think what's important is that we have identified some very, very interesting, anomalous type of aircraft. Let's call them aircraft. Things that don't have any obvious flight surfaces, any obvious forms of propulsion, and maneuvering in ways that include extreme maneuverability beyond, I would submit, the healthy G-forces of a human or anything biological. Hypersonic velocities, low observability, positive lift, again, seemingly in defying the laws of aerodynamics. I will tell you unequivocally that through the observation, scientific methodologies that were applied to look at this phenomena, that these aircraft, we'll call them aircraft, are displaying characteristics that are not currently within the U.S. inventory, nor in any foreign inventory that we are aware of.
So I know you're being clear, but I mean, the answer is yes.
I can't speak on behalf of the government. Obviously, I'm not in the U.S. government anymore. My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone, whatever that means.
Fucking hell. I hadn't actually heard that.
Hadn't you?
No, I hadn't. Some of that, as I said, I haven't much Wi-Fi. I haven't had any Wi-Fi since Boxing Day. And, oh geez, shit.
Very compelling evidence.
Yeah.
We are not alone, whatever that means.
So I'll give you Louis Elizondo. He has a background in military intelligence.
Okay.
That's where his background lies. He worked for the Department of Defense, or DOD.
Dodd. Ken Dodd. Get out your tickling stick.
I thought wars would be so much nicer if they were formed with tickle sticks, wouldn't they?
And Doddy was the captain.
And Doddy was the general, yeah.
Happiness. Happiness.
Any foreign listeners who don't know Ken Dodd, he's a elderly British comedian now who only elderly people like. And
me.
And if you really want to go and check him out on YouTube, you can do, but I would suggest that you don't.
Aww.
Also, I suggest you don't check out Mrs. Brown's Boys,
Ben,
which apparently is
are
the...
you putting the British institution known as Ken Dodd in the reggae box?
You know what? I'm not.
Oh,
but
okay.
I am going to put
You're
Mrs.
taking
Brown's
on the edge.
Boys
Oh, you can
in
put
there.
that in there. Fuck those guys.
Mrs. Brown's Boys is a comedy for people who clap when the fucking plane lands. They have such low expectations in life, they're just happy to make it to the ground.
Comedy!
Yeah.
No, I've never seen an episode.
I have.
Oh. And you sound upset about it.
I am.
Your dad loves it.
He does, he's been to see it live.
My dad fucking loves it too.
My dad as well. Must be a certain generation.
He's like...
Loves seeing another man in drag.
Well, that was comedy back then.
They grew up on that comedy.
That's it.
Benny Hill.
Les Dawson, Benny Hill, yeah.
Didn't Les Dawson used to the thing where he was two different women in drag? And
Or
he
his mate was one and he
Or
was
he would
the
turn around
and he'd be like action
Yeah.
and his bust and all.
Oh,
his
you
own
are
bag.
awful.
Yeah. I've also had to
Dick
watch...
Henry, that wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah, but yeah. Either way, sorry, where were we? Oh, it was shit, planes.
Well, can we so Mr. Elliot, fucking, I'm shit with this name, but
Elizondo, his military intelligence background. Now he ran it for DOD,
right,
Department of Defense, investigating, which is known in military parlance as unidentified aerial phenomena.
Okay.
Phenomenon.
I was waiting for it.
No. Phenomenon.
Now this program allegedly ended in 2012.
Okay.
You know, the $22 million budget that wasn't hidden, wasn't black budget, it was in the white, but it was buried under a lot of other departments.
Right.
Yeah. Now...
But it probably needs to be because...
Yeah, they didn't want people to know they were doing it, but they also didn't want to stick it in the black budget.
Right.
So it's in the grey.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it, I suppose. Now, this was given the green light by Harry Reid, who was the former Senate Majority Leader. Our American listeners will be much more familiar with that than I am, in all fairness.
Okay.
But I presume that's pretty high up. Or
It
certainly
is
mid-level management.
Yeah, it's one of the top.
You can dish out 22 million quid to look for UFOs if you're that high up. There you go.
There you go, mate.
Yeah.
22 million shades of grey.
See how you get on with that.
Wow, that's a hardcore bondage movie. 22 million shades of grey. Oh,
It's a snuff film.
it actually probably is, isn't it? Yeah. But this went... See, a lot of this was farmed out. There was Department of Defence people on it, but a lot of the investigation and the reports of sightings went to numerous sort of little, what they call them? What's the word I'm looking for? They're farming it out to contractors.
Contractors. Independent contractors.
Independent contractors.
Like the innocent ones who
Biggest
died
of
on the
which...
Death Star.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
The biggest of which was Robert Bigelow, and no, he's no relation to Juice.
Oh.
who runs Bigelow Aerospace Contractors, and he looked into the majority of UFO cases. He's also a big UFO fan. So is Harry Reid.
So basically, he was really just giving his mate 22 million a year.
That's, well, certainly the biggest chunk of 22 million a year, which is obvious because it is his mate.
Was it spent on UFO research, or was it spent on cocaine and hookers?
Certainly a good chunk of it seems to have appeared to be spent on UFO
cocaine and
research.
alien hookers.
And where was I for the green alien hookers? But yeah, so this Luis Elizondo, he was the guy who collated everything and put it together, and we just heard what he saw. I mean, we'll get the gun camera footage.
That last line, man, she pushed him, didn't she, in a sort of polite way, and he said, what did I say, there's overwhelming evidence that we are not alone. Or, no, that's not the exact quote, is it, but he thinks we're not alone. Those are the fucking words he used, and he goes, whatever that means, you know. And I guess by that statement he means, are they little green men, are they greys, are they octopi,
space octopi,
are they bacterias, flying crafts? Because he said in that speech that they're doing manoeuvres that he believes no biological creature could withstand.
The G-forces, yeah. Have we got the footage of
A few guys,
the actual UFO that was captured?
if you have a little chat, I'll find that, because if you describe what the footage is, I suppose it won't take me a sec.
Well, I mean, we've got gun camera footage from, and they are F-18 Hornets launched from the carrier, the USS Nimitz. So they're Top Gun. Well, they're not Top Gun, but because they're in F-18s, I think that's right. The F-14s of Top Gun guys. I don't know.
Forgive my military ignorance. What's a gun camera? Is it literally?
It's literally
what's used to target?
It's what the pilot's looking at.
I don't know what half of what he just said, so don't worry about it, guys. I don't know what the difference is between F-14 and F-18.
Looks like a difference between
I
a
think
Ford
it's
Fiesta and a
different
Ford Mondeo.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Make
And then the F-14 is more of a fighter bomber, whereas the F-18 is like fleet protection. Oh, so the F-14 is fleet protection, and the F-18 is like a fighter bomber, I think. It's been a while since I had to do all that.
So, here we go, and I'll play it to you, then I'll play the audio to the audience, and then we'll talk about what we see in this, I think, terrifying footage.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not LNS though, is it? It's not. That is LNS, dude. Well, if there's look at that thing. It's rotated.
There's a quote appearing on the screen. One of the pilots told a reporter this object was, quote, not of this world. But some of the quotes, if that didn't come up too clearly in the audio, the pilot said, there's an entire fleet of them.
He did, yeah.
Dude, I don't know what that thing is.
It's going 140 knots against the wind.
It's rotating, which you can see it doing visually in the video. And it looks, for all intents and purposes to me, like weirdly like your classical flying saucer type shape, like a spinning top.
Yeah. Mars Attack style.
It looked like a giant flea to me. I don't know if it did to anyone else.
I'd agree with the siding with this. It was a white tic tac. I'd probably go with that.
Yeah.
But this footage was filmed in 2004, released in the last couple of weeks. Why the delay? Why are we being, again, the PSYOP?
Well, who released it?
Oh, I don't know that.
Because it wasn't the Pentagon, was it?
Oh, was it not? I was under the impression it...
I don't think it was. I think it was released by Tom DeLonge's company.
Really?
To the Stars Academy and Art of
I've
Arts
heard
and
of this,
Science.
yeah. For anyone who doesn't know Tom DeLonge, he's the former drummer of Blink-182. He's invested a lot of money into...
he was the singer.
Is this singer?
Yeah, one of the lead singers.
Oh, I thought he was a drummer.
No, that's Travis, somebody barking.
Oh, yeah, you are right, yeah. I know someone that claimed to have a threesome with
The
him.
problem I've got with that... Oh, there you go. The problem I've got with that is I watched Tom DeLonge talk for an hour and a bit to Joe Rogan. Oh, fucking hell, man. The impression I came away with, and I read a whole Reddit thread, and a lot of people agree with me. What sounds like it's happening to Tom DeLonge with that company, and I didn't know they'd released this, so that's interesting, but it sounds like a lot of ex-military top brass are rinsing him for money and convincing him that they're going to build antimatter machines
That's
and
it,
teleportation devices, and he believes this. And he sat there in front of Joe Rogan,
I've seen it, yeah.
snorting, and Joe Rogan, you could tell, was completely just like, oh. Because he wouldn't give any details,
Well, this guy
he wouldn't discuss it.
This guy is part of his company, isn't he? They send us on note.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
This
man,
footage-
Mike.
But the Pentagon disclaiming they're not disowning it. I've read on like mainstream website and that.
I
you
might
know,
be wrong, but I was under the illusion that it was this company.
Let's try and.
I thought this was Pentagon leaks. I was in the impression this was the Pentagon. It was the Howard Hughes episode, and he explained on this. He was interviewing the New York Times reporter. They discussed this. So they didn't mention Tom DeLonge.
So let's read the actual article. A former Pentagon official who led a recently revealed government program to research potential UFOs.
Well, actually, there wasn't as much swearing in that as I seem to think there was. But surely, the one thing I will say that I am critical of that footage is that military radio is monitored, and so is NASA radio. And if NASA astronauts start talking about stuff they're not supposed to see, they're immediately cut off and diverted to a private channel.
You're correct that he is part of Tom DeLonge's company, the Academy of Arts and Sciences, this Louis Sando, but I can't see where the footage came from. I'll try googling the actual San Diego UFO, because the Pentagon haven't come out and discredited it, have they? Or,
no, the thing is, we still can't agree they were looking into UFOs, and this gun camera footage has come out. Whether or not this
was part. I think this was part of that research at the time. He's left the government. He's taken that with him.
Mike, hang on.
Yeah.
This is from the independent.co.uk, which would we agree is fairly reputable?
It's decent.
No,
it's
it's not quite a rag, is it? It's what we would
It's
call
middle of the road, isn't it?
Is it a broadsheet or is it? And it's the same footage I can see from the video, and the headline is U.S. military releases classified footage of unidentified flying objects tracked by Navy pilots. U.S. fighter jets were sent to investigate a mysterious flying object as it hovered off the coast of San Diego.
A whale's vagina.
Well done. You didn't let me down. Previously classified footage has revealed a video released by the U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, shows Navy pilots reacting with astonishment as they tracked the whitish oval as it glided above the Pacific Ocean. So, it did come from the...
Wow, okay.
So that's why I was quite...
Yeah.
What was adding to my freaked outness by this whole... It's from the fucking Pentagon.
So they've been scrambled from a carrier as well, because it is from the USS Nimitz.
So it must have showed up on radar then or something.
Yeah, because the carrier fleet... Well, carriers have got like fucking 27 ships around them just to look after them. And a submarine.
That changes things a bit then, doesn't it? Because that's... that's the US government disclosing it.
But then it does also, I'm glad you've brought to my attention that Louis Sando is part of Tom DeLonge's company, because then he has a motive for talking about this, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
He has an agenda to promote that company because it obviously exists to make money. Do you want me to
say what the company co-founder said about it? About the company?
Is this Tom DeLonge's company's co-founder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Hal Puthoff.
No!
Yes,
oh man. I tried to put him off this company, you know.
He's a former advisor to NASA, General Electric, the NSA, and Stanford University.
Okay, that's fairly reputable.
Yeah.
All of them. Well,
he
pretty
said,
reputable.
"Imagine having 25th century science this century. We've mobilised a team of experienced, connected, and passionately curious minds to reveal and decode information that can challenge the limits of traditional theory, such as the study of unidentified aerial phenomenon technologies. Together, we're bringing transformative science and engineering out of the shadows to introduce profound possibilities." Boom, mic drop.
So are they looking for them or trying to replicate the technology? Or both? And how much money has Tom DeLonge got? Because that's going to take a lot of cash.
Yeah, I mean, they've sold a lot of records, but I don't know if he's that...
He set up a crowdfunding, and he's got $200,000 at the moment.
Well, he ain't going to get very far on that, is he?
There's, I did read a good comment under that video that they need to get the remaining members of Blink-182 on Joe Rogan to ask them what the fuck happened with Tom. Come on, he didn't talk about the band once, and Joe Rogan normally goes for 3 hours with every single guest, no matter who it is. This was less than 2 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He couldn't fucking hack it anymore. Because the guy wouldn't give any actual info, and he was showing like YouTube videos that were really like, oh, sort of things like that Portal one I watched today.
Yeah.
But you know, he's sitting there in front of Joe Rogan, like, who's a very cynical, clinical-minded, you know, guy, isn't he? He likes to see evidence, and if you could show him evidence, his opinion will change, like it should.
As it should, exactly.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird interview. He was definitely coked up, in my opinion, Mr. DeLong.
If he's doing a lot of sniffing, then probably.
But maybe he's onto something then. Maybe he's... I mean, I don't freaking know, do I? But either way, back to the... Let's not get bogged down in... Oh, you were going to tell me about his company, weren't you? Oh, you did?
Yes.
Their mission statement.
No,
So...
yeah.
It's a big-ass mission statement.
It is, but with 200 grand, are you going to be... Because I heard him talking about they're going to make antimatter transportation devices and teleportation, these kinds of things.
I think they're also relying on, like, alien tech in a way, is the way I understand. They were looking to identify these things and then utilise the technology.
Didn't Tom DeLonge say that they had alien technology?
I read... Right.
In the podcast, wasn't he talking about they had a piece of metal or something,
yes,
and they were testing electrons,
Right.
yeah, over the material, weren't they? And if they charged it a certain way or something, it went over faster or slower, and that's how they get through space. Apparently, is they change sort of space time in front of the vehicle.
I can give you a bit of science I've learned over the years of researching UFOs about how aliens travel through space, if you like. Mm-hmm. Can I take the science crone if I nail it?
Go on then.
Right.
Well, science fiction crowd.
Science. Oh. Well, no, this is actual physics as well. This is how people think they get through space. So there's two types of gravity. There's gravity A, gravity B. Gravity A is the gravity we have on Earth. We can momentarily break it by jumping in the air. Gravity B is the stuff that holds the atoms and the nucleuses together. It's very tight. It takes a lot of effort to break it. Basically, the UFOs, in theory, transmits the gravity wave they essentially use to sort of wormhole hop to where they want to go. Because everything's getting by gravity, so you utilise that and you can open up a space and pop it in the other.
Okay, that hasn't really said how they do it though.
Well, yeah, they're riding gravity effectively.
Mike just wants to keep his crown.
Yeah, he does. He can keep it
Can I
because that's his
just-
job. But
what
that's the barest bones explanation of what has been theorised how these people do it.
Well,
These aliens do it.
With regards to what you said about the alien material, can I read you another article that this is, I think, then the fourth story that I saw reported by mainstream media that caused the freak out the other night, because these have all come thick and fast.
Yeah. There's
in
been
the
a
last
lot.
month. This is from the Independent again. U.S. government recovered materials from unidentified flying object it, quote, does not recognise. The Pentagon has reportedly recovered metal alloys from unidentified flying objects that scientists do not recognise. Materials which are alleged to have amazing properties that are being stored in modified buildings in Las Vegas, the New York Times reports.
It's fucked up, innit?
Not the fucking Conspiracy Weekly, not Shitheads United, the New York Times, which has then been re-reported by the Independent. I'll go on. The US Department of Defense, has admitted to a secret 22 million... Oh, we know this bit, blah, blah, blah. A secret 22 million program. They have some... Now, who's saying this? This is Ralph Blumenthal talking, one of the authors of the New York Times report, told MSNBC. They have some material from these objects that is being studied, so that scientists can try to figure out what accounts for their amazing properties. Mr. Blumenthal said that the DoD do not know what the materials are made of. It's some sort of compound they do not recognise, he added. The Pentagon refused to comment when contacted by the Independent. Researchers also studied people who claimed they had experienced physical effects from encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, according to the New York Times. The recently released... then they go on to talk about the video that we've previously discussed. Then Mr. Blumenthal then says, no one knows what they are to this day. Research went into trying to identify their strange means of propulsion, their phenomenal aerodynamics, which represent nothing on the face of this earth by any country. Experts warn,
Oh man.
there is usually a worldly explanation for apparent UFO sightings, and caution that an absence of an explanation is not proof of extraterrestrial life, but it's also not a
Proof there isn't.
proof that there isn't extraterrestrial life.
Yeah. I noticed interesting. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a few other.
Yeah, he hasn't been very critical of this.
That's what I
He's
mean.
saying bullshit, isn't
Yeah,
he?
they're poo-pooing it.
Yeah, because he's got to stand by his. He's very much in the same camp as Brian Cox. They've got to stand by their science is everything. Science is the truth. Science is the only way, you know, with critical thinking, blah blah blah, and proof and. Blah, blah. So I don't think he wants to give any kind of anything that can be unexplained. I don't think he wants that to exist because his physics can't explain it.
No, but I think it can explain it. It's just what that craft in that gun camera footage is displaying is stuff that we can't withstand with our technology. Now, if we have there's some kind of device inside that craft that basically cancels out external force that we haven't invented yet, there's every chance they can make something like that. Then you can go 140 knots into the wind. You can literally come to a stop and then fire off because you won't feel it. Your craft is doing it. So the physics is there to support that. It's our own limitations as our wet meat sacks that we are that we can't physically do that. We black out and our bodies return to paste.
So you think he's denying it because he doesn't want to be associated with it if it's false?
I think he'd love
There's
to
an
believe
element
it.
of that.
Yeah.
But I think also an element of he doesn't like anything that can't be fucking explained with his physics, with his precious.
But he does say that he says, "Show me the evidence,
Yes.
show me the alien, show me the craft."
Didn't he say something like if you call one on the phone or something, he's like, I'll believe some daft guy. And I really respect that guy and love him. He's way more intelligent than me, clearly.
He says, there's
Oh yeah, I love NGDT.
But-
He's great.
But I think you've got to have a bit more of an open mind. Well, maybe his knowledge of physics makes him less open-minded in a weird sort of
Possibly.
way than my little stoner brain where I'm like, well, it could be anything. But so what would you... Do you have any thoughts on a real-world explanation for the UFO in that footage? Like a non-extraterrestrial explanation?
Well, it's
a
either...
Russian
it's
thing,
either
a Chinese...
It's either some really advanced type of drone,
Possibly.
or it's some natural phenomenon we don't really know about. I mean, you got to look at like Foo Fighters in World War II. What were they? You know, bomber crews were shooting at them. They were zipping past. I mean,
And as drone technology is so sort of commonplace now, maybe in 2004 someone in Russia, someone in China, I don't know, or another country had a more sort of drone technology that we've only just come into now, and they were out testing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take you back to. I think we've talked about it on the Roswell episode. I mean, it was the head of the Boeing Skunk Works. I think it was the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. A few weeks before he died of cancer, said that we're 50 years ahead of where you think we are. We know that Einstein made a mistake in his calculations, and we have corrected that mistake, and the means to travel to the stars is within our grasp.
Yeah.
He said that. He also hinted at we are out there and we have got bases on the moon and Mars. So let's say
You've got Edgar Mitchell in the Podesta emails.
Yeah.
He emails John Podesta saying, when are we going to meet up and talk about the
I saw
alien
that.
thing?
That was released by WikiLeaks, wasn't it?
And he's saying the aliens don't want a war, they want us to get rid of all our weapons. We need to sit down and have a conference call on this. And you're thinking, that's
Hello.
fucking weird.
Yeah.
Now okay.
But is he talking in code?
Well,
Because that might be code for something else. It might be code for China, that might be code for North Korea. You don't know. I mean,
but Edgar Mitchell is actually coming out and saying
I know that
this as well. It's not all cloak and dagger.
I know that. Yeah, I'm using it, but actually no.
And he's saying the space war is underway already. We need to get our act together.
which leads us on to potentially. I'll tell you at the end.
And it
Is
does
Edgar
sound a lot
Mitchell-
like it sounds a lot like Vrillion, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, was Edgar Mitchell just an old insane astronaut that John Podesta was placating and going along with his mad theory,
That's
or
a
was
very
he?
good possibility.
Because Edgar
And then
Mitchell
it's just
also.
got picked up by WikiLeaks because it mentions fucking aliens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's juicy.
Well, they dumped everything, so
Yeah,
it was
well,
just
there
in
you go. And it would
There's-
have someone searching through that would have stood out, wouldn't it? And you're right. He could have been a senile old fool who still had a government contact, just rambling on some crap, or or he could have been. It sounds a lot like the whole Brilliant thing, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Well,
The space war and the get rid of the weapons. And
yeah, Edgar Mitchell. I don't quite know how. I mean, I know he was the sixth man on the moon, and I think he went into space a couple more times. But he.
What effect does that have on your brain?
Well, he started trying to conduct private ESP sessions from orbit. And I presume that he was pulled from astronaut duty long after that.
Yeah, but if really is up there, then he would be doing that.
No, he
with
was
me.
trying to contact someone on Earth. And yeah, he was a big guy about the aliens, and that's after he's come back, and you think, well, I respect the guy to literally to the moon and back. I mean, he's like the sixth man to walk on the moon.
Yeah.
He's an astronaut. He was in the pioneering
about
days. He was due to go on Apollo. Which one was the one that?
Yeah.
I think he was due to go on 13.
He has said he had said that he's never seen anything personally,
No.
but he knows a lot of people in high positions that have.
Yeah, but that's after he's come back from space and he's not on active
But
duty.
he
and
would
maybe
have high contacts in NASA. And he would have high contacts.
Would he have eye contacts? He's an
yeah.
astronaut. He's not involved with the program anymore. I mean,
He's going to be friend scientists that move up the corporate ladder in
yeah, I
NASA.
suppose so. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but are they though, or are they like a really great military pilot who's retired is no longer in?
He's dead now.
But no, let's for a fixed,
Yes.
for example, who's no longer in the service. He can't just walk in and get access, can he? To the so a NASA pilot is just a really high skilled.
He's a guy doing a job.
This
at the
guy,
end of the day, isn't he?
what I'm trying to say, this guy could be the NASA equivalent of a grunt. If you know what I mean, like they're just the dudes who fly the ships, do some experiments, but you're nothing fucking special in the world of NASA.
Who Edgar Mitchell?
High up, yeah. So maybe this guy didn't. He could be a senile old. Is that the name of the guy?
Edgar Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah, but Gaz, only 12 people on the moon. He's like.
But banned one of them, but still the percentage of that 12 of them on the moon, one of them could be a fucking Fruit Loop, mate.
Well, I might have skipped through the psychological testing.
Six trips into space, did you say? What does that do to
the ESP thing kind of worries me a bit.
That worries
I mean, I
me.
do like you. Massive respect for him.
But how true is that? Because I'd like to think that sort of shit would turn up on your psychological profiling and your.
Well, maybe after he did that, he was never sent into space again. So they thought, well, maybe he's got a bit
space crazy.
Yeah.
He's trying to talk to space ghosts.
Coast to coast.
Hey.
Coast to Coast FM.
Hey.
Check it out. It can be fun sometimes. I've heard a few of that. But so, all right. Space War is interesting because are we going to do it after the emergency broke? Well, we'll record it. It's a future episode. We're going to look at Solar Warden.
Oh.
Do you know what Solar Warden is?
I've got no idea.
It is literally our secret space program.
Right. Okay.
And
This is Gary McKinnon.
Gary McKinnon found this. Yeah, he hacked NASA and found this what was it? Extraterrestrial officers list. And
What?
yeah, he's resisted. They managed to stop him getting extradited in the UK. I think because we'll cover a lot of this. Like,
They were hell bent
Warden,
on it. They were hell bent on the extradition.
Yeah, they were. They were hell bent on
Could
it.
we have a piss break? So
Yes, we
before
can,
get
yeah.
to,
We'll come back and
So
talk
I'd
about
like to
Solar Warden,
talk
and then
briefly about
we'll talk about our feelings about
Mr.
this whole
Gary.
leak.
Talk about our feelings.
Yes, Mike.
Because we're back. Sorry, that Gary McKinnon. If I'm not mixing up my hackers, is he the Brit with the sort of autism or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you see him approaching court, he's just in sort of Adidas jogging bottoms. You know, he doesn't look like a nerd. He looks like a bit more like a council estate
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
chav type thing. Because I saw him giving the finger to some cameras outside court.
He was using his auntie's computer as well. His girlfriend's auntie's computer, I
He
think.
just does not look like the world's greatest hacker at all. No, whatever my image of that is in my mind, it wasn't this guy. And as you said previously, Mike, the American government fucking massively wanted this
Oh
guy.
yeah, they wanted him big time.
Fucking mental illness or no mental illness, you're going to the worst American prison. And we, thankfully, I don't know how, just by being British probably, just
Just by fudging the paperwork, I'd imagine. British, because we like to get into a muddle, don't we, the Brits? We're charmingly muddled.
Was he punished in this country though? Is he doing jail time?
I don't think so.
Certain, to be honest.
So you're saying he found a
For the
list?
next episode.
He found a list of alien employees.
Well, they were called extraterrestrial officers.
So is that an officer who's an extraterrestrial or an officer who's dedicated to extraterrestrial?
Well, I'd assume an extraterrestrial.
No, it's more. I think it's more. It may not be the correct phrase. If you can get your internet up, just have a look for me. Cause,
what should I put into Google?
Solar Warden, Gary McKinnon. But yeah, it wasn't like extraterrestrial one word. It was like extra dash terrestrial. So it made sort of off-world in a way.
Okay, Solar Warden, Gary.
I didn't go too much into the McKinnon stuff because it's going to be the sort of next episode, or the next one we record.
So what comes up was Gary McKinnon right? Secret Space Fleet filmed. Solar Warden, the Secret Space Program. What was it? What did you want me to try and find out?
The list of officers. What was it called?
Okay, Solar Warden officer.
Yeah, so it's the Secret Space. So if we've had stuff off these guys since 1947, let's say the Roswell crash. Let's say the Roswell crash was an accident. The aliens didn't mean to crash. We meet up with them. We have a chat. We get technology in exchange for abductees. We know now there's hostile alien races out there, or nice alien races out there, but we need to defend the Earth, don't we? So we come up with Solar Warden, the secret space program that guards the solar system. So extraterrestrial flight, going back to what Boeing said, all that the guy from Boeing said, we're up there, we're already doing it. The physics was wrong, because we based everything on Einstein, haven't we? And that's where deGrasse Tyson and Cox will obviously swear by Einstein as physics guys. But if we know he's wrong and they don't, if the guys who are doing the tippity tip of the fucking research know that Einstein's wrong and Cox and deGrasse don't, they're going to stick by that anyway.
Because let's face it, Cox and deGrasse and their ilk are essentially celebrity scientists. They're not NASA employees, they're not top government
Cox
officials.
works for CERN, I think.
Oh, okay. But
yeah, and Neil deGrasse Tyson works for the planetarium.
But they're not top government ranking officials. They're not on the inside of any.
They're not on the advisory boards. They're not advisors to the president.
No,
These are civilian scientists.
I'm not being disparaging.
Oh no, absolutely not. These are just brilliant men. They are brilliant men.
Literally saying they're not. They're saying what they know and what they believe, but they don't have any more access to secret knowledge than to the average Joe. Yeah. I would assume. So,
yeah, it's like trouble is if you're too dedicated, I suppose, on the science, you're too narrow focused. Yeah, you're forgetting, you're leaving out.
That's it. If you focus on that Einstein is right, and he's infallible.
What was it, the great philosopher? Was it Socrates who said, "All I know is I know nothing"?
No, that's a Green Day song. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. Fucking tune. But yeah, I didn't realise it was a Socrates.
They ripped it off Socrates.
Who'd have thunk it? Green Day ripping off Socrates.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Some Greek guy anyway said it.
Some Greek chap said it.
Was it just some random bloke on the street during the recession?
Some country big on curly shoes and hummus.
Yeah. Look, that Turkish legend.
Turkish legend. Oh, it's a Red Dwarf quote. Sorry.
Well, I'm down for that. We don't know. But then, okay, what's the benefit?
We've been through all this, the dream argument, all that, you know. Descartes. Saying
you went through all that.
All right, I went through all that. Saying Descartes saying
I sat here mystified for most of it.
My eyes, my senses tell me the world, but they've deceived me before, so why should I trust them?
What benefit is there of it? So let's say there are elements of human society, not even society,
humanity,
elements
really.
of humanity who are engaging in intergalactic travel
and war,
space war. Trade, I imagine, also. It's probably how the war started. I don't know. What's the benefit of the general populace not knowing about that?
What's the benefit of it? Well, it'll blow our minds. I mean, if we knew...
Well, I've
that
already freaked out, so yeah. I guess.
If we knew... One day, I'll quote Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black. One day, like yesterday, you knew humanity was alone in the universe. Tomorrow, who knows what you'll know? Or it's paraphrasing anyway.
Well, it's a profound mind change.
All religion goes out the window at that point because every religion pretty much
my
says.
Girlfriend, this is why when I was trying to explain to her why I'm freaked out, I said this changes everything, all the traditional things that we've taken for granted and are apparently set in stone. Religion's one of them. Science. Everything changes with this, I said.
Jesus is on the fucking Council of Light with Aurelian's boys, the Pelagians, yeah?
He's in our Space Avengers team, isn't he?
Yeah, so Jesus rocks up one day, aliens are real, right? The government, aliens are real, they've literally turned up, then Jesus rocks up, right?
Oh, God.
Right? First of all, Gaz has got to fight him.
Oh, son of God.
Right? To prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And after that, after he's pummeled Gaz into a bloody pulp,
okay.
right, after that, right, Christianity's out the fucking window, isn't it? Because he's like, I didn't tell you any of this shit. Imagine him turning up to a fucking church in Alabama who were defending like Roy Moore. And, I didn't tell you to do any of this.
There'll be a very hasty...
So Christianity's gone.
There'll be a very hasty rewrite of the New Testament. Not only did God create the heavens and the stars, but all things contained within the heavens and stars, including Ashtar, the intergalactic space fucker.
The point is,
Jesus is going to do Bible the sequel. It's going to be a
Bible 2.
Bible harder.
The point is, all of a sudden, every religion out there that said that humanity is
Divine.
God's creation and the only race out there has been proven wrong. So all of a sudden, it's completely fallible.
But the Pope's come out and said that.
The Vatican have a lot of telescopes looking for stuff.
And one called Lucifer.
Yeah. Well, Lucifer technically is the light bringer.
Ben, that photograph of them throwing up the devil horns, is that a photoshopped fucking picture? Is that a picture of the Pope throwing the devil horns?
I don't know.
That cannot be a real I know presidents do it and Prince William and people like that, but surely to
Well, if you've seen the Pope's throne, the only thing you can do in front of that monstrosity behind him is...
Yeah, have you seen that? Genuinely, have you seen the Pope's throne room?
No.
The snakehead throne room.
Oh, Mike, is your...
It sounds where like the last battle of Conan the Barbarian takes place.
Yeah.
In the Pope's throne room. And he cuts off the head of an intergalactic snake.
It's the resurrection of Christ statue.
Probably a pedo snake.
Oh, man, it's... Right, we'll cut this part out. What, Mike, edit this part out.
You don't have to if you can't be arsed, Mike.
Right, because we're going to go off topic a little bit here, because you've got to see this. This is some...
It might be related... No, it's related to the episode, because I've heard about the Vatican's vast network of fucking telescopes spread across the globe, and what are they fucking interested for? And I've also heard about their secret vaults that nobody gets to go in the fucking library.
Yeah. Oh, man, for an hour in there.
They could have...
I'd rank the Pope off for an hour in that vault.
But if anybody doesn't want the alien thing coming out, like you just said, if anyone doesn't want it coming out...
So maybe they want to find it before anyone else can.
Well, that's the thing. But,
look at aliens, bro. They're everywhere.
It's heavy, and like I said, my girlfriend did laugh at me a bit. I suppose it was funny that I was having a stone. I was genuinely quite like, fuck me. But I was thinking about exactly what you've just been saying. This changes so much about everything, like religion, science, everything. It proves a lot of... It surely changes how you see everything. Because I went to university and I proudly dropped out after 2 years. But I went to university in Aberystwyth, which for the international listener is a seaside town. And I used
in
to
Wales?
Yes, and I used to go and sit on that beach and look out at the ocean. And it has a very powerful effect on you.
Oh, yeah, it does,
Makes you feel tiny. And puts a lot of things into perspective, and it can be quite, sort of, sound a bit hippie, but quite calming and soothing to go and be reminded of your tininess in the face of this vast...
I get that.
So imagine then open that up to the galaxy, to alien life from other solar systems. It's so huge, it changes everything. And this could be a big psyop, so what we're looking at here then, chaps, Mike's bringing up, is that the Pope's throne? It looks like.
And look at the. Actually, there's a better view with it, like where you just type in the Pope's throne room, and you get the full.
That looks like a vision of hell.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit on that.
It's meant to be Jesus Christ coming out of an atomic explosion. It was in the 70s. It was a sculpture.
Oh, it was made in the 70s. Oh, right, okay. That explains a lot. People
And
were
he
worried
sits
about...
behind this, and it is the creepiest fucking thing you've ever seen.
Everything about the Pope's
There you go.
creepy. Jesus Christ, it's huge.
What do you think of that, Gaz?
I think that's...
I think that looks like a fucking reptilian.
I think, God's honest truth, that's a stunning piece of artwork and sculpture, but I don't think the head of a religious... And is he not throwing up a bit of a Nazi salute there? Well, that's just the
No, he's
angle.
supposed to put his hand up, I think.
It's an angle, but I think that's not a very pleasant image to look at.
No.
All credit due to the artist. I often, a running joke since episode 1 is that I could beat Jesus in a fist fight. Looking at that image of Jesus.
No, that's meant to be Jesus' face with his hair. No, that's his hair like...
That looks like a reptilian
It
to
looks
me.
like a reptilian's head, doesn't it?
That looks like a lizard head.
Yeah, but isn't that also a little bit of that, what was that thing called earlier?
Pareidolia, I know.
Yeah, but the artist would play with that, you see.
Yeah.
He's an artiste.
It was from the 70s though.
I'd imagine he was doing a fucking lot of asses when he did that, because Jesus, that is fucking horrific.
You know what? The more I learn about the Vatican, the more fucking... I mean, put aside the, teenage, underage orgies with little boys, which, quite weird, allegedly. Not even allegedly.
No, it's pretty much proven.
There's shit like this, the secret library, the network of fucking telescopes, that does tie in. I don't think we have to edit that out. I think that does tie into it, because...
Oh, then if we do keep this in and you're listening, then do go and please immediately at this point press pause and go and Google Pope's Throne Room and tell us what you think that looks like. Because to me, it looks like a fucking lizard-headed dude behind the Pope.
It's not a pleasant image of Jesus Christ, is it? You would like to think for people whose entire life is about celebrating this man.
Yeah.
You'd like to see him in a bit more of a friendly, I've seen statues of him like feeding goats and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Aww.
Yeah, nice Jesus. But
when Space Jesus shows up, this is out the window.
Like I was going to say, just
and guys, that's what the throne room looks like from a distance.
Lord, it's so opulent.
That's a snakehead.
Disgusting.
Can you not see the snakehead?
Yeah, okay.
But that could be pareidolia.
I see the serpent.
And you can see the outside as well. Looks like a snake, doesn't it, Ben?
But the serpent is part of a lot of ancient
It is. It's big in mythology. The serpent, of course.
Yeah, but the serpent in Christianity
is Satan.
Yeah. So why?
Was that a reminder of
from the outside, you can see it look like a snake's head with an eye.
That's a bit of pareidolia there, but I can see what you're coming at because it's pareidolia. But yeah, it's almost like it was designed that way. It's weird.
It could be.
It's.
God. We have got to do a lot on because I've got a very basic. I've just seen it as a headline, but a subject I'd like to research and go into is serpent cults, and they were real things a long time ago, weren't they? So shall we get back on track to our main, because this was our emergency broadcast, because in this conspiracy game that we do, and it's usually fun because of the fact that we don't know, do we? And it's speculation, and it's fun to speculate and have our flights of fancy, and this is Pentagon, mainstream media. And alright, it's not little green men, but it's them saying there's shit we don't understand.
Yeah.
And there's shit we've found that we don't understand.
Materials we don't understand. What's Mr. Cox got to say about that?
Well, he hasn't seen it, that's the point.
Let's see, yeah.
But I have read a rebuttal about the alloys that were allegedly found, and apparently the leading metallurgists, is that right? Metallurgists?
Yeah.
Have basically said, well, unless this stuff's coming from another dimension,
that's what's going to be my rebuttal to you.
We ain't going to find it. We have to figure out what it is, because there's naturally occurring alloys on Earth, and all the metal in the solar system is iron. It's iron. I don't know, steel is a fucking alloy, to be fair. It's a lot. It's
all the elements.
Basically, all the elements are the same.
All the elements we know of come from stars.
Yeah.
Explosions.
We're all
of huge...
stardust, baby!
Yeah. And actually, Keanu Reeves said that this week.
I saw that interview.
Yeah.
Showing him pictures of
Immortal Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, figures from ancient history look remarkably like Keanu in portraits, and yeah, he turned to the host and said, "Hey, we're all stardust, baby."
Because like the sun it converts helium into hydrogen to burn its fuel, but the sun is like quite a small star. It will never be able to produce heavy elements at its core, but the huge massive stars, I mean, they keep once they run out of one fuel, they'll burn another and it'll produce carbon, and then it'll go to something else until it goes all the way to iron, which is the heaviest. I think it's got gold and all that along the way.
Well, we literally, that thing, we're all stardust. We did the bacteria that started life.
Yeah, it's literally we are all stardust. Yeah, we're made of all the atoms we're made of were atoms that were expelled
came from the heart of a dying star.
Panspermia.
Hey?
Panspermia it's called.
I thought you said spermia. Sorry.
Space punk.
Space punk. We're all space punk, baby.
And then we've got a giant cock covered in it. Organic Johnny.
Yeah. Maybe that thing's just cruising around jizzing.
And my girlfriend's wondering why I'm fucking on her sofa going, pigs are fucked!
You haven't covered in space jizz? You're being space macaqued?
There's a space cock wearing a space Johnny. And its jizz is on the ISS space station. And there's pilots talking about fucking UFOs, Pentagon releasing videos, cats and dogs living together, pandemonium. And, I, for one, want solid fucking answers. Enough of this wishy-washy, cryptic fucking... He said we're not alone. I don't like it. I always thought I wanted this.
I don't like it.
I always thought I wanted this.
Do you want a safe place, little snowflake?
I'm fucking triggered by aliens. I thought I wanted this. I thought this would be fucking cool. But the reality of it makes me deeply uncomfortable. What if they're not friendly? What if it's... I should find that article because they did...
Let's just hope to God it's Vrilly and his boys.
Oh, please be Vrilly.
Yeah, but we're fighting Vrilly and his boys according to Edgar Mitchell. They want peace, but we're still fighting them anyway.
But you know, wars can be complex. There could be more than one side. Maybe Vrilly boy's an ally. And the Ashtar Galactic Commander...
And sit there fighting the others.
And we're fighting the Anunnaki over the fucking
No, because we're out there already. Got Captain America in Space, Randy Kramer.
Oh, yeah.
Who we'll touch on in our next recorded episode, a future episode. You know, he's effectively Captain America in space, and they've got shit tons of them dudes.
Oh no!
You know, there's not like just him. There's like an army of them. They're on Mars. They're fighting. They're garroting reptilians as we speak for our benefit, guys. Be thankful for them.
Okay.
So where's their parade, guys? You tell me where their parade is.
Well, they're black. They knew what they were signing up for. So I'll read you.
Oh, that's a Trump answer.
They knew. Huge. China. Anyway, I'll read you an article from the Washington Post. How will humanity react? This was written by Ben Guarino.
Owned by the CIA now.
Something
Washington
like that.
Post.
Yeah, he's probably dead.
Yeah, it's owned by Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who owns Amazon. And he signed a massive contract with the CIA.
Wow.
And now
It's the CIA with stuff they want to buy from their budget.
Okay, then this article is from CIA.com. Also known as the Washington Post. How will humanity react to alien life?
Can I just say, allegedly?
Okay, sorry, allegedly.
Allegedly owned. Allegedly owned, but allegedly posted by the CIA.
Yeah.
Will cover us legally, I think.
Don't hurt us. How will humanity react to alien life? Psychologists have some predictions. Germs stuck to the outside of the International Space Station are not from around here. Cosmonaut Anton Shkrapilov said in an interview last week with Russian state-owned news service TASS. Microbes, quote, have come from outer space and settled along the external surface, he said. They are being studied so far and it seems that they pose no danger. Russia's space agency, Roscosmos, has not weighed in on this extraordinary claim. The odds are not on the side of aliens. If microorganisms are tucked away within the space station's holes crannies, as he says, they probably hitchhike the 250 miles from our planet's surface. But imagine if scientists found alien microbes. How would humanity react to the news? Michael Varnum, a psychologist at Arizona State University and a member of its new interplanetary initiative, is trying to anticipate this response. One of the initial questions of the initiative that we're curious about is how might we respond if we discover evidence of extraterrestrial life, he said. The moment when humans meet E.T. is a staple of fiction and speculation, as well as armchair science and conspiracy on YouTube. Hey! No one has predicted the psychological reactions to extraterrestrial microorganisms in a systematic, careful way, Varnum said. I just need a sip, sorry.
What Polish lager is that, by the way?
I'm drinking Perla, which is a Pils.
We had a Polish girl at work called Perla. Years ago, yes.
She was probably named after the lager.
Maybe.
They do like a drink. You were conceived after I drank the 12 cans. I realise that's the same as my Russian accent. So the psychologist and his authors make a critical distinction between reactions to the discovery of extraterrestrial intelligence and finding evidence for microbial thank you, life beyond Earth.
Hey, it's my job.
Okay. This is quite a long, complicated article, actually, but...
Is there any bullet points?
No, but the point is that they're looking into, so... How do we react to... Oh, we found bacteria that originated from space.
Then we all go,
And then how do we react to we found intelligence?
Something like that, I'd imagine.
I fucking concur wholeheartedly. Based on my reaction to these last few news stories, I fucking concur. Like, yeah, that is... So why are they looking into it, though? I mean, he just might be looking for something to do, because he is a member of, what did I say, the interplanetary... But then why is a fucking decent top-end university got an interplanetary fucking intelligence force?
Well, NASA, this year, 2017, were recruiting an interplanetary defence officer. It's not as fun as it sounds. And a planetary defence officer, something like that. It was a really cool sounding title.
Is it to defend us from asteroids?
No, it was to do with alien microbes and bacteria potentially starting a super plague on Earth that we had no response to. But
it's good to know how we would respond to these things, though. We shouldn't read too much.
It was like $180,000 a year. I did really want to go for it, but then I realised I had no background in microbiology. And even no matter how much I lie,
I got a pair of boxing gloves. If I see a fucking microbe,
I'll fucking Millwall I am, and I'll stank him with a broken bowl. That's what I'll do. I'm your welcome to Earth, Shank.
Welcome to Telford.
Scott smack bottle in the face.
Just over the head and then into the gut. That's the classic Telford welcome.
So, should we try and come to some sort of conclusion on this spate of... unless you have anything else you want to go through?
No, just... No, like I say, I think that, you know what, if that gun camera footage is legit, right, then it's been massively overlooked by the world's population.
Yeah, people should be a little more concerned about this, I feel. I just think, I don't know if it's because I was influenced by that podcast I listened to, because it was very long, of whether this is one big psyop, all this being released at once. Like, that footage was from 2004. Is this them maybe pre-prepping because Tom DeLonge's company has some?
No, because I think if Tom DeLonge's company had something, I suspect there'd be a mysterious fire and some suiciding going on.
And he'd get double tapped.
Suicided,
yes.
Or triple tapped. Let's not forget.
What was it? What
the Mozambique triple tap.
Yeah. I think this is huge fucking news.
If that footage, that gun camera footage is real, that changes. If you've got, I mean, them F-18s, they're a bit old, but they're still pretty fucking decent in terms of. Yanks are still using, Americans are still using them as frontline guys on their massive aircraft carriers, right? So them things are good.
Definitely.
And if they're being given the runaround by something they don't know what that is, and their pilots are like,
there's a whole fleet of them.
There's a whole fleet of them.
It's rotating.
Dude. You know, and they are literally doing pinpoint turns and turning 140 knot into the wind, and I mean,
unfortunately,
where'd you start with that?
Can we put a pin in it? 'Cause I need to pee again. I'm sorry. And then we'll wrap it up.
Right, okay, we'll go for one last piss break.
Sorry, listeners. That's better.
Thanks to creative editing, you don't know we've been away.
And I can sit still now because I'm not desperate to wee. So yeah, we're trying to wrap this. The psyop thing. How do you feel about that? Is this one big psyop? How do you feel about psyops? I suppose I should say.
To a point, I think there's evidence for them. There is evidence for them. I think they've been attempted. I generally do. I mean, look, you could argue that War of the Worlds is the greatest psyop of all time.
Could you also?
And that was back in the 20s, 30s.
Could you also argue that your daily news media, newspapers, television news is all a daily psyop to?
Of course it is.
It's telling you what to think, isn't it?
It's making you live in fear. And what you got on the news nowadays?
It's controlling.
3 people were arrested in a terrorism plot.
It's
A
controlling.
robbery happened. So and so.
It's controlling the
A woman
narrative.
was mugged.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just
Controlling what information comes to you, so you could say that's a psyop.
And here's Skippy, the happy dog. Look at him go.
This has all come from mainstream media.
Why do you think that, like, on the news, they're not screaming about climate change and the fact that we're in the 6th extinction, and 50%,
I heard that this week.
50% of all life will be dead extinct by the end of the century. How fucking appalling! Of all species, currently on this planet will be gone by the end of the century.
Well,
how horrific is
How
that?
far away is the end of the century? I'm very thick. Until around 70.
83 years.
So 83 years. Thank
At the
you.
minute, 82 years next week.
So in 83 years' time, they're predicting that 50% of what's alive now, species-wise, will be gone.
Yeah.
That is fucking disgusting.
Well, think about it. Us three sat here.
But who owns the news corporations? Big oil companies that don't want this shit being broadcast every day.
No.
Well, look at where was it? The Flint, Michigan thing with the fracking and what I was doing to the water.
Lead in the
I
water.
turned around to my dad, and Dad, he's like, "Oh, fracking, it will solve everything. All the energy problems." Dad, in Flint, they are literally lighting their water.
Yeah, go and watch Gasland, which is a documentary.
And he's like,
fantastic.
no, they're not. He just refuses to believe it because he hasn't seen it on the BBC. It's not, doesn't exist as far as he's concerned.
It's a conspiracy theory, and that's why you should go to the internet to get your, your info. You should have multiple sources, essentially.
Yeah, get a balanced view. Don't believe
that's
what
the
we're
ideal,
telling you.
isn't
Don't
it?
believe what people are telling you.
That's
Especially
the ideal.
us. Well, sometimes.
Because, I can't shake the feeling that, possibly, like I said, I was influenced by Ground Zero Media, and Clive, the presenter, that this is a psyop, that we're being prepared for something larger, a bigger news story, that this is just to test the toe in the water, and I could actually save NASA billions. If this is a big psyop in the government, I could save them a lot of money because I can give them the answer to the psyop. As long as fucking Saturday Night Telly's still on, no one gives a shit. Especially not on my fucking Facebook feed.
Especially if the X Factor's on, or
Honestly.
Britain's Got Talent, or what's the other one? I'm a Celebrity.
Dancing
Or
one.
fucking Love Fucking Ireland.
No.
Or whatever the
There's
fuck
endless.
else there is. Strictly Come Dancing.
Plus, I guess
Dancing on Ice. As long as that's all on, you can do what the hell you want.
is it timely that this news has been released in December? Sort of the end of November, beginning of December.
Everyone's too focused on Christmas, aren't
Yes,
they?
is everyone so distracted by Christmas that... And is this part of the psyop, the experiment to try and find out, well, will even the basic...
Pleb.
Well, no, sorry, I was trying to say the confirmation of alien life, will that distract your average person from Christmas? And the answer is no. So next Easter, are they going to tell us basically we've communicated with a fucking being from another galaxy?
Well, it wasn't so long ago. There was those radio signals coming back, and we were puzzled as what they were.
Well, all right then, but then how does this tie into the other theory of if there is all this interdimensional travel and things already happening? Are they preparing for the reveal of that? because they're being forced to, because
would-
possibly something is coming.
And think of it, that throws us literally into a new age. We go from an age of cars to an age of
Well, it's like
essentially using wormholes to pop to where we want to go, and
It's
with
like
Rick and
BC
Morty
and
portal
AD.
guns.
BC-AD, it's BA and AA after aliens, before aliens,
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's going to
absolutely.
change the fabric of society, isn't it?
Of course it is. You're going to have alien visitors, you're going to have aliens walking around the streets. You might have an alien turn up in town, you get mugged in 30 seconds.
But it's like they say though, like that psychological study was trying to prepare for the difference between finding biological, microbial life and intelligence. And, you know, by the sounds of it, intergalactic travel and space wars, you know, indicates a level of fucking intelligence, right?
What if the reptilians do actually control us?
Yeah,
Are
they
actually at
do.
the top of the pyramid,
Yeah,
okay?
let's say they are, okay.
So David Icke, what he's saying is true.
Saint Ike.
You
Saint
know,
Ike.
yeah, you got that fucking horrific statue that looks like a reptile behind the Pope. You've got the forked tongue on the NASA sign.
Allegedly.
Well, that could just be a throwback to all the ancient serpent worship, and you know, haven't they always been the
See, that's the other
illuminated
thing, the
ones?
fucking serpent worship.
Why is it about snakes?
That's it. I mean, the snake's always been seen as evil, hasn't it, in a way? Or,
They don't strike me as
I mean,
particularly impressive.
yeah,
I know I'd lose
they're
a fight
nasty
with
little
a
bastards,
snake.
aren't they?
Yeah, I know I'd lose a fight with a snake, but I've
Hey,
never
you
looked
say
at
you
a
beat
snake.
up Jesus and there's a fight with a snake?
I would rather fight a human than a snake.
I don't...
Honestly, a deadly
You'd rather
snake.
fight a demigod than beat up a snake?
I don't want to fight a deadly snake. It's going to fuck me up and bite and nip me, and I'm fucked. I'm done. I've got no defence against him.
Or
Jesus.
what about a constrictor?
I don't want to fight any kind of reptile or snake. Jesus, I can,
Komodo dragon?
I do not want to fight. If I punch him, I'm poisoned, aren't I? 'Cause his skin's poisonous. I'm not fighting a Komodo dragon.
Their bites, I think.
Oh, is it just their bite? Okay.
Actually, it's the amount of
Their
bacteria.
saliva, isn't it,
Yeah,
or something?
it's the
Yeah.
amount of bacteria in their saliva will kill you.
So
yeah.
no, I don't want to fight any kind of reptile, any kind of animal. They got claws, sharpy teeth. Jesus, for all his demigod posturing, is a flesh bag just like me.
He's a demigod though, he's a harder flesh bag.
We've been through this.
No,
He was
can
born of woman.
can I just say about bacteria in mouths? I got this bird at work, fuck me.
Where's
We
this
had
going?
bacteria in her mouth, her breath could cut through fucking bank vaults, mate. And this is at 2 in the morning. Oh, bacteria in the mouth. So I can fully understand how that would turn something septic, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
On that note,
where was it? So, what do you guys think? Come on, I've rattled on now.
I'm with it. If that gun camera footage is real, right, then you fucking that is it. And I think that once they play that card to us, religion comes down, or they'll certainly try and figure out a way around to stop it coming down. The guys who are at the peak of the power in that. But society's torn apart. We 1 minute we know we're alone, the next minute we don't. Before you know it, we're all getting fucking conscripted to go and fight in a fucking space war.
but if they control
Starship Troopers.
if they control the information, they control the way it's leaked, then they can control the way that we
It's
react.
portrayed, yeah, exactly. So
And if
it
they
might be
control
peaceful.
the narrative, why are they allowing us this information now at this point in time?
Well, because people
Because-
are awakening. I think there's a huge sort of undergoing of people
There's more people
realising
yeah,
that
yeah.
the fabric of society is actually, since the 2008 crash, especially, and since 9/11, that society is not quite the society that they thought it was.
No, that's it. And I suppose, I mean, there's still always going to be the brainwashed percentage, but a lot more people are starting to realise that what they've been told it's not. And yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but wouldn't that destroy their...
I think it's 80% of Americans believe that UFOs are visiting.
Yeah, but Emmy, I mean, but is that the 80% of the people who are slightly more enlightened than your Trump supporter?
And the thing I've mentioned it a few times.
I don't know the.
But
That's
the thing
what I
Joe
mean.
Rogan says, and I know I mention him a lot, but he is. I'm a massive fan of him. I know he's not always right, but I'm a massive fan. He always says the thing with these statistics and these polls. Who the fuck answers polls?
That's it. I mean, if someone comes to me in the street and says, "Do you want to answer a quiz survey?" I'm gonna fuck off.
It's actually most of it's on landline. Who has a landline now?
That's the thing.
And if they say to me, "Do you want to answer a question?" on the phone, I'm like, "No, I don't." So hang up.
That's why all the polls for the election, the last election in 2017, was so skewed because they were doing calling landlines, mainly old people.
You've got no one to talk to.
So they underestimated the youth vote. So that's why they thought the Tories were going to gain 100 seats.
And they really didn't.
No.
But you see there, you've always got to ask the question with a statistic like, yes, 80% of Americans, no, 80% of Americans who answered this poll believe in you. But I'm not that, I do think I think more of them, I don't know if it's something to do with the size of America, that so much of it is rural and, but they seem to have a way higher percentage of reporting. Well, obviously because they're so much bigger, that makes, making a stupid point.
Unless Eisenhower had that conference with the Greys, or that treaty with the Greys, where they could have to American citizens, so more of them do see it.
Well, even Project Blue Book, which is 48 to 69.
Yeah.
Okay, it had 12,618 reported UFO sightings.
That's right.
They investigated. 701 remain unidentified.
That's true. Yeah, I've got
all
that
it
same
takes
stat.
is for one of them to be real.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Is just of all these sightings worldwide, it just takes one to be real.
Well, we've got it, the San Diego one that's been released.
So if that is real,
and that's the Pentagon,
then all bets are off, aren't they?
That's gun camera footage. That is, you can't tamper with that shit. It's literally being filmed from the camera on the nose of the plane and being relayed to the pilot. You can't tamper with that. It's going from literally, it's going 4 foot, that data. Now,
all bets are off.
I know that military pilots will fear. So there's military pilots will not report
material as well. This is unrecognisable.
That's the one story. Because I don't know the
that's
validity
evidence,
of it,
isn't it?
Because they said in the
that's
story
hard evidence.
the Pentagon refused to comment, but still, why is it?
Well, of course they're going to.
Mainstream. It's the fact that it's mainstream media that's freaked me out the most. Because we all, like we mentioned earlier, we all see the stories shared by UFO Weekly and that people
Weekly
share,
World News,
and things that you don't take too seriously. But when it's the fucking New York Times, the Independent, the Washington Post. That footage released, we researched it here live on air, not released by Tom DeLonge's company, it's a man from Tom DeLonge's company commenting on it, but it's a video released by the Pentagon. That was my phone making an eBay noise.
But it doesn't matter that
because I had to have the internet on so we could do research.
Right, but it doesn't matter that he works for that company because he was the head of the organisation that looked into it. Now, it also says that even though that investigation may have finished in 2012 because the funding effectively ran out, there's still a very good chance that there's certain DOD employees looking into it. Maybe the budget's just gone black now rather than grey.
Yeah.
That's what some people are saying.
That's it. So maybe they realise it did have something. I mean... Oh, man.
Oh, dude, the beers are racking up. It's because I had to turn it all back on to get the internet.
But
it is still on flight, bro.
It's cool. We understand.
Oh, man.
So,
somebody wants to read
in 2018, are we getting aliens? There's my question for you boys.
I believe I do think we're being prepped for something bigger. And
think about it, when you consider the current unpopularity of the majority of the Western governments, you'd argue need a war, but haven't really got anyone to attack. Maybe aliens are the next logical step.
That's something we haven't brought up. The Werner von Braun quote about how first it'll be, the Middle East will be the enemy.
Yeah, of course.
Then it will be intergalactic, a threat from an intergalactic threat, and he said it'll all be fake and it'll all be designed to
promote a one world government.
Yes. Now he's alleged to have said this. It's not. I don't
by
know
a dude that came out and said it after he was dead and couldn't defend it. Well, someone
but
came out and said it
somebody
after he was dead.
Yes.
So it can't be disproved.
It's very, very alleged, but it sort of makes sense to me. And I'm sure I've heard David Icke talking about this too, Saint Icke, which obviously I'm not saying that means it's right, but it's a theory out there that, because like you just said, Ben, that would unite us.
Yeah, I mean, let's say that, hypothetically, Trump and Theresa May are very unpopular at the minute, and they need to wrap themselves in the flag and be that leader. Go to North Korea. We could go to North Korea. That's the #1 target. That's what they're kind of setting us up for, isn't it? North Korea. Can you imagine how many lives would be lost invading North Korea? They've got a population of 20 million, a 5 million strong military. Virtually everyone in that country, apart from the very young or very old, apart from the very young, have gone through some kind of basic military training in their lives. It'll be a fucking bloodbath for us and them. Western governments can't take costly wars. We like that quick clean in and out.
What are you on about?
When we get bogged down, it's bad. This is what happened in Vietnam.
It's bad for the country, it's not bad for the arms traders and the...
No, but it's bad for civilian morale because all of a sudden your son's coming home with no legs.
Of course,
or he's going back dead. Right, so it's... And eventually resistance grows. They found that out in Nam. You get into a long protracted war where you take a lot of casualties, resistance at home grows, it makes it impossible politically to carry on the war.
Yeah.
Space war though, whoa, that's
Fight or be extinct.
That's it. Do you want these aliens coming down here, ruling us, exterminating us? They don't care if we're cattle to them. We're all unified. There's one world government. There's one world response.
And
Starship Troopers, wouldn't it? With
Starship
a Sky Marshal.
Troopers. We have a fucking insane Sky Marshal. It all goes downhill.
He's got complete control.
I have read as well, the military, they were trying to find a way to use holograms as a weapon in less developed countries, more religious countries, to convince them of some sort of religious miracle, like a giant...
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Projected giant, your god, whoever.
Let's say Crescent Moon or something like that.
Some sort of hologram.
You can't project Allah, remember, because there's no pictures of him.
Or even a hologrammatic ranks of troops, just to convince a village or a village, I don't know, wherever they were trying to take to lay down.
Well, they could stage an attack on a village
so they've been looking into this
military side
for years. So they could feasibly, could they not, get to a point where technology is good enough to just, like we mentioned earlier, the visual of the fleet of alien ships just hanging over a western city.
Yeah.
They could probably create that with hologram technology.
Well, this is actually one of the problems of all the evidence, the sightings of UFOs, because technology is so good now, and CGI, we can make things look... You can't tell a difference.
Said that portal video I mentioned earlier, I said to my friend Lee, I said, that's fucking good CGI for a dude on YouTube, I can't deny that, but my heart tells me CGI, but then I did say, well, what if it isn't? But my brain can't comprehend that and won't allow it. Well, no, I think comprehend CGI.
It's because you are being a bit of a geek, like the other two, or a nerd, or whatever we're called nowadays. You have a second sense, almost a sixth sense about
fuckery.
Yeah,
internet fuckery.
Yeah, exactly.
Conspiracy theory fuckery.
Your spidey sense tingles, and you go
because you've been burnt so many times before. That's why.
But we've learned. But a lot
I
of these
didn't get
people...
that feeling from that fucking UFO video.
No, neither did I.
From the gun thing.
No.
I didn't get that feeling. I got a feeling.
Was it like you had a tingle in your balls?
Yeah.
I did almost jizz, I must admit.
I did.
I wasn't quite excited. It's like I said earlier, I thought I wanted this. I thought I wanted the conspiracies to be true, the aliens, but it's more fun when it's a conspiracy. It's like, when it's reality, it's like, oh, fuck me. So, okay then, they could easily, let's say, well, maybe not easily, but let's say they get to a point to follow our theory through. They can hologrammatically project an alien invading fleet. We're all very, very quickly going to rally round our respective governments, aren't we?
Yeah, of course we are,
Massively quickly. Would you put that past them?
Nope.
If they had the tech to do it?
Nope.
Me neither.
I wouldn't put it past them.
For that.
I wouldn't put it past them like virusing our own population to take more control over it. Do you know what I mean? I just wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put past any government in the West at the moment.
There is apparently a common theory amongst the elite that we need to lose approximately 80% of the population in order for the planet to survive. What if they used the hologrammatic aliens as an excuse to sort of spread something that wipes?
Yeah. Who's to say?
Or real alien fleet could be on the fucking way. I don't know, but I do know that I think uncomfortable is the right word about all this alien stuff. It's exciting. The geek in me loves it too, but I can't lie about being
Yeah,
Maybe I smoked too much.
It's going to go either one or two ways in it. It's going to be really, and it's going to expand our consciousness, make our society peaceful and
clean energy.
blissful.
We're all going to live in harmony. There'll be no crime.
You have
It'll
hit
be
the
wonderful.
nail. Mike, you have hit the nail bang on the head.
Or we're chained up
But all of us
in the
communism
gold
in a way.
mines.
You know, the ideal of communism is that everything's created for everybody. And
Or it goes the other way, we're toiling in the gold mines.
or we go, mass casualties alien war, or touring in the gold mines after the alien war. The survivors are touring in the gold mines, and it's not coming in thought, really, is it? Because I'm leaning 70% more towards the bad side of it than the 30% that's the good.
That's where I think I'm going to. And
I don't really want my fleshy carcass on a intergalactic meat market for reptilians.
No.
I don't want to be transported to another dimension to be used as a fucking sex slave by night and a gold mining slave by fucking day. And I don't want that.
It's not a good day out.
I don't
It's
want
not.
that.
No. But on the plus side, I suppose we could die in glorious battle against the alien invader and be saved all that horrible fate that our loved ones back at home will be.
I just hope it's not a fake hologram and we're being blag trolled.
What if the
massively by
holograms are
government?
so good they can shoot shit and we can't shoot them back?
Well, look, you've seen those holograms of like where they get Tupac or Elvis to play on stage. That's in a fucking arena that some promoter has the technology to do. Like, just turn that into a spaceship. The only thing I probably got worried about is bird flies through the hologram and it.
Oh, you just get zapped.
Ah, okay. They'd probably shoot it then.
Yeah.
Fucking nuke all the birds before.
But what if they come and say, right, we've got interdimensional technology, we're going to roll it out to all the people, it's available, you can just go to any universe you want.
Well, at least have some fucking Wi-Fi.
That would be fucking awesome, wouldn't it?
No, I like this.
I can watch porn for the dimension.
I like it.
Porn for the dimension.
No, I don't want it.
Green chicks get it on.
But you could just. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy porno parody.
Ooh, is there now?
Yeah, she's green. You can just watch that.
Well, I'm not a fan of porn parodies.
But,
That's the problem.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But my point is, I think that I like this reality
It's alright.
a little more than I let on.
I live here. It's alright, I suppose. Well, it's gonna be better, but
And I like all these conspiracy theories when they're theories and they're fun. I don't want them to be true. I don't really want interdimensional travel. I don't want bleeding between dimensions. I don't want future echoes. I don't want time travel. I don't want doppelgangers from the past. I don't want an old version of me turning up one day and fucking red pilling me with some shit. I don't want that. I don't want Really Boy, even though he means well. I don't want him. It's too much for my little brain. I like them to stay in their comic books and the movies where they fucking belong.
Say your comic books and your films, you wanker! I just see that you meet Really, this 8 foot tall, majestic, golden being of light, and you're gonna stand up to him, stay in your comic books, you fucker!
He can take your enlightenment and shove it up yours.
Get out of my reality. Sling your fucking hook out of my reality because it is simply too much for my consciousness to comprehend.
Now, off you, fuck!
I come in peace. I couldn't give two fucks.
Off you, fuck, really? There you go.
I simply cannot comprehend this.
I think it's trying to shank you with a visual peeler.
It's too much. I want it to be theory, but let's see where it goes. Like I think Mike hit the nail on the head, bang on. The reason it's freaky to me is because it goes one of two ways, isn't it? It's either benign or nice, positive, or it's fucking evil and bad shit and more than I want to think of. There's enough darkness out there.
Look at the Star Wars defense system. Right? For all we know, that's missile defense. What if it's pointing out? What if it's not pointing in? What if we have got some orbital shield up? What if there is solar Warden floating around the solar system? Potentially
and those intergalactic Captain Americas.
And intergalactic Captain Americas.
But I want them to fuck off because I've just met a really nice fucking girl and I'm happy for the first time in a long fucking time. And then they start telling me about UFO fucking
But this would just sum your life up with the fact that one chance you ought to be fucking happy, we're all conscripted to space war and die horribly. So it just sum your fucking life up, wouldn't it, basically? It's basically, you'll be there, right? Be me and Mike sat there, Like, smoking away in the trenches. And you're really going, when I get home to the girlfriend, I'm going to have a nice white picket fence, nice little house. And me and Mike are going to turn around and go, dead.
Definitely. Anybody who says that, anybody puts up a picture of their girlfriend,
That's it.
He's fucking dead. Anyone who Skypes their girlfriend and the baby, he's dead.
Dead. So me and you, Mike,
Oh.
we're all right. We're going to make this okay.
Let's crocus some toads.
Let's crocus some toes, baby.
Well,
The only good bug's dead bug.
Good bug's dead bug.
well, I for one can say, good guys, bad guys, whatever the aliens are, fuck off. Because I was happy before. Lads, would you like to add your closing statements to the alien emergency broadcast?
Wow, I don't know. It's mind blowing, really, isn't it? I mean, like you say, we've all suspected, we've all wanted this to be true, and now here's some pretty hard evidence. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say if
Still questionable.
it's still questionable, but if it's
not
true,
Still unidentified, but it was released by the fucking Pentagon.
Yeah.
That's the key. You know.
Yeah.
and if that's the footage they're releasing, what's the footage they didn't release?
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that.
I just think, times are changing. I think everything's changing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People are becoming more aware of shit, and I think it's certainly possible. Certainly possible.
At the start of this podcast, I thought that I was going to be a little bit sceptical of this. I did. And now I'm like kind of half excited and half shitting me pants a little bit.
Oh, I can identify with that, mate.
Like I said before, if that footage is real, and let's say, for example, that they did hold stuff back, and maybe there has been dogfights between fighters and UFOs that we don't know about, and I like to think that what we've got, if we have got stuff that's 50 years ahead of our time, like the chap from Boeing said, then we might hold our own. I think once we get down here, we'll be alright. I think in space we'll get our asses kicked. I think once we get down to the ground, I think we might hold our own a little bit more. But it comes to that. Yeah, I don't want to think about that. Fuck it. No, hopefully it's really.
Let's pray for
Everything's really end all wars.
Yeah.
End all famine.
Let's end on a nice note.
Should we start the Church of Vrillion?
Someone's probably already done it. You have to ask God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. But let's start to pray for Vrilly.
I'm not praying. I just so we're sending positive thoughts.
That could be our next T-shirt related to praying for Brilliant. Let's hope for positivity.
Let's hope that it's really, and maybe we're fighting him a little bit, but it's a bit of a misunderstanding, and we'll sort it out before it gets to us getting sent into some kind of human wave assault on superior alien beings.
Let's hope it's like a really good wrestling match between two sort of good guys.
It was sporting throughout.
Yeah, so at the end, one of them's disappointed because he lost and he goes to walk away, but the other one reaches out, touches him, he turns around, the crowd is like, yeah, come on, do it, shake his hand. They want to see the two warriors respect each other, and there's a handshake, some respect, and a decent walk away.
And no heel turn.
Yeah, no, none of that. No shake the hand, turn around, kick to the stomach. No, let's hope really means what he said when he spoke to the people of Kent.
In 1977?
Please see our previous episode,
the
1977 signal broadcast interruption, where his message of peace was to lose our weapons and to reach the next stage of human evolution through peace and development and understanding.
That'd be nice.
Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Can't see it though.
Let's hope the giant space cock doesn't come thundering through our atmosphere and smash into us like the biggest asteroid we've ever experienced.
And quite literally fuck our planet.
Yeah, and destroy us all. And then its organic coat reseeds us, and it's a terraforming alien probe sent by a
Prometheus style thing.
I haven't even seen the movie, but is that...
Yeah, they kind of seed worlds, So...
Yeah. Well... Cheers, lads. I thought it was definitely worthy of an emergency broadcast.
Absolutely. There's a 70% chance we're fucked.
Yeah, and if you've been listening, thank you, and let us know, get in touch. Let us know on the Facebook page, Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse.
That's
on
the one.
Facebook. Let us know what you think.
Actually, and at Apocalypse Bull on Twitter.
Yeah.
I am Baron Von Carter, and Mike is Gaggy Van Kak. Kak Van, sorry, at Kak Van, Mike. I'm at Baron Von Carter.
I'm the wandering Dutch Lothario serenading the ladies with his magic flute.
It's interdimensional.
with the photo of 1970 Steve Bruce.
Yeah, 1979 Steve Bruce.
You know, he was one of my favourite players.
He's got a big
because I was a defender. I used to fucking love him because he
never named cap, did he?
Bless him.
Yeah.
He was good though, wasn't he?
He was good. He should have had an
I liked his face because he had a broken nose and he was big and like...
He was pretty ugly.
Yeah, just real. So yeah, should we give our sign off?
Yeah.
Ladies and gents.
I will say, stay classy world, even in the face of invasion.
I will say free Biff Tannen. See you later.
I will say peace out.
Good night.
Thank you for listening.
Cheers.
Bye.
How do we react to... Oh, we found bacteria that originated from space.
Then we all go,
And then how do we react to we found intelligence?
something like that, I'd imagine.
I fucking concur wholeheartedly. Based on my reaction to these last few news stories, I fucking concur.